And welcome to Canton, Ohio, as we get you ready once again and even more for Stagg Bowl 52. Stagg Bowl 52 coming to you from Canton, Ohio, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, the University of Wisconsin, River Falls, against North Central College of Naperville, Illinois. The River Falls fans, we are here almost 30 minutes before kickoff. They are fully in place. They are on the side of the stadium that you should see on your television screen. And we hope you watch TV and then turn the volume down and follow us here on d3football.com. We'll be back in just a moment. We will have coaching interviews. We'll talk with the head coach of University of Wisconsin River Falls, Matt Walker, and we will talk with North Central College head coach Brad Spencer. Full-length interviews as we get you ready for this upcoming game. And then Keith McMillan will join us. We'll do starting lineups. We'll have Keith McMillan's keys to the game, and we will have down on the field Seth Howard of the Left Hash Call will be our sideline reporter this evening here on our broadcast of Stagg Bowl 52. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from d3football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the d3football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season.
Now on the d3football.com pregame show leading up to Stagg Bowl 52 in Canton, Ohio. We're talking with Matt Walker, the head coach of the University of Wisconsin River Falls. The Falcons here, 13-1, playing for a national championship for the first time. Coach, first of all, congratulations and welcome to the Stagg Bowl.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, that's for sure.
It's got to be interesting even to just hear those words connected with your program, right?
I've said that a lot. It's a surreal feeling, for sure, to say the word. You know, you always use it in your preseason meetings and goals, like everybody. It's the ultimate goal, but it's kind of this thing that sits out there that are you sure you're ever going to get to really touch that? And again, we say it's what motivates us to do our process, but yeah, it does. I thought the holiday break, it might sink in a little bit. I thought we'd have a chance to. I don't know if of our league standings, you're climbing your way up the ladder to be a contention to win the national title. I've always said that, and it's for sure been true for us.
How's your team's health so far over the course of the past few weeks?
I'd be lying if I didn't think it's one of the number one, if not the number one factor of why we're standing here today. We're starting basically the same 22 that we did to start the season week 1. That's unheard of, almost unheard of, and so I think it's a big deal, huge deal.
I think one of the big challenges for both teams in this game is going to be line play. Your offensive line up against their defensive line. That defensive line is one of the most talented in Division III, and then the opposite way around as well. What are your thoughts about how your line play is going to stack up against these guys?
I think it's the key. Yeah, I wish they weren't so damn good up front, but they are. God, they're so good, and on both sides of the football. I've said that this group reminds me of those Whitewater Mount Union groups that were on those big runs where, in all respect to them, those teams were all just boringly better everywhere than everybody else. That's just what happened. They weren't extra flashy, but they controlled the game and they beat you up front. They were good enough at the skill spots. That's what this team reminds me of. It's kind of the clash of two systems a little bit. But if you had to say, well, what do they really excel at? It's their line play on both sides. The number 92, that D tackles is, if Caleb Blaha's the best player in the country, in my mind, he might be the second best player in America. I really believe that. Those might be the two best players in the country playing on Saturday or Sunday for sure.
I mean, we haven't announced this formally yet, but those are our offensive and defensive players of the year, so I totally understand that.
Yeah, those two are freaks.
So how do you keep one away from the other? You don't want Caleb by
You pray.
Touched by something.
You pray. I think that the run in our league and the fight in our league against those great teams. You play in Whitewater and La Crosse and Platteville and Oshkosh, and those teams have freaks up front. We've seen fronts like these. Again, he's special, but we've seen freaky dudes every Saturday. It's not. We never go a Saturday in our league without the other side having one or two guys who are like, oh my God, this kid is a freak. Everybody's got some. And so because of that, you feel a little bit prepared, but you just gotta, if Caleb can do one thing, his escapability is probably his coolest tool. He can just get away and wiggle out of everything and make us all look smart all the time.
Well, that was going to be my follow-up question was, how do you feel your offense performs when hurried up? Because that is what that defensive line wants to do to you.
Well, we always try to use that as our advantage. It's like they know that we know exactly what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to shorten this game and sit on the football and bleed the clock and snap it with one to go and run the football down our throat. And they should. That's what you should do against us. We're going to try to do the opposite, right? We're going to get it and try to score it as fast. That's why this could be as fun of a game to watch if you're a college football fan at any level. This is the clash of all clashes of systems and philosophies, and what a cool thing to get to watch. We're going to try to do the opposite to them that they're going to try to do to us, and what a heck of a game this might be.
Yeah, my hope is that we get one like 2023 between Cortland and North Central, which was obviously came down to the end, a lot of scoring.
Yeah, and I followed that game a little bit and even went back to kind of take a peek at it. It's like, not many teams have beat this North Central team. They were one of them. Okay, well, what'd they do? Well, that quarterback ran around. He made big plays down the field. They hurried him up a little bit when they needed to. So it kind of fits our ingredients a little bit, but we'll have to see. They're so damn good. You just you're not sure if you can you really execute at a high of a level as we have been. That's our hope, but you gotta let it fly.
Is there anything you guys can do to simulate what they do up front, or for that matter, what they do in their secondary?
Oh, you try your hardest. I would suspect. Like trying to simulate how fast we go is it's as hard as us trying to simulate truly how explosive they are in the interior of your D-line. It's just so, and you're in the point to the season, like hardcore football people will know this. You're at a point in the season where you're careful getting too crazy in practice. So to truly simulate how explosive that kid is when they're doing their movements and stunts, and you're not trying to knock the crap out of guys at this point in week 17 or whatever the hell we're doing right now. But the answer is no, you can't simulate it, to be honest.
Great, short of lining him up off sides every time as a scout team. Right?
Damn, that's a good idea. I should have done that. Goddamn, where were you 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah, that's totally what you want me for, is for that sort of thing. Like other teams do, I think, when trying to simulate you, is they basically have two scout teams set up to go, and then Team A runs a play and then they swap it out and Team B runs the next play. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall in the meetings early in the week to hear how people are going to try to simulate what we do. And, like part of the secret sauce that I'll give away a little bit is our schemes aren't what's secret about this thing. I get calls all the time like, hey, how do you do this? And they want this secret answer. It's nothing to do with schemes. It's all about the mechanics and philosophy of just, like getting the ball back to the umpire is as important as running a slant route right. Like that's how our guys think. So you truly can't simulate how we think and how we do it.
When you guys first cooked this up, the idea to run, what we now call the Top Gun offense and to move at this pace, did you envision it being as successful as it's been this season? But that was the hope, I imagine.
That was the hope. It really was. I think, again, the initial thoughts were, we cooked it. We were dabbling in 19, and then we went into COVID, and we had this time on our hands. We thought we wanted to do it. Joe Mass and I went in together, and we were hip to hip, and let's not dabble in this anymore. Let's go be the fastest team in the world that snaps it. And number one was college football is supposed to be fun. Yeah. I thought it could be fun. We thought it could be a fun brand. It could attract recruits. We put this goofy brand on it that we knew people would make fun of us for. We didn't care. I don't give a damn. And at the same time, can we grab more vanilla looks on defense? Is it a good thing that Caleb Blaha gets 99 chances a game instead of 60? Is it? Yeah. We all were like, let's go grab every nook and cranny of the efficiencies of going fast all the time instead of dabbling in it situationally, and let's see what happens. And we made some other bold decisions. Like I said, I think the biggest decision even before the Top Gun offense stuff was that I was done caring what anybody else thought. That's an easy thing for coaches to say. Everybody says that it sounds really good, it's good lip service, but you still kind of think about it a little bit. I stopped giving a damn what anybody thought. I'm like, I'm the professional. I'm the expert at football, not these dads. They don't know more than I do. I was like, we don't care anymore. It's like, I'm going to go for it. My dad gets mad at me. We go for it on fourth down so much. I don't care what my dad thinks right now. So not giving a damn anymore and doing what we wanted is part of what was how this thing was created as well.
Yeah, I imagine that builds a lot of confidence with the players as well.
For sure. They love it.
I've been told, and I don't think it was by you, I think it was by, someone more generically associated with the program, that basically fourth down and 3 or less is you guys are almost always going for it.
It's got to be very situationally based for me to punt on less than 3 or more, yeah, for sure. I tell our team, we know we go for it almost every time, but I reserve the right to not be an idiot, is what I say. I'm not going to be such an idiot that it's on the -1 and it's 4th and 7. I'm not going for it. I reserve the right to not be an idiot, but we're going to be aggressive.
All right, so Top Gun offense, I'm going to play with this a little bit. When your offense is in the danger zone, when things aren't working, what are the things that we're going to see?
Well, I think, Caleb's dual threat ability is always the best thing to make this thing click. It always has been. It's always what's opened up everything, both ways. If they think that we're going to throw it, his ability to run, it's great. If they're going to try to fill and run fit, it opens up things in throwing it. That's always been the case for 4 years. Now, this sort of development at outside receiver, the length of those guys, the 6'4", 6'5" guys, we can throw it up anytime. It's as good an offense as we have. We say, damn, our best play might be drop back when no one's open. That's maybe our best play right now. So there's not this pressure or anxiousness to be in a perfect call. Let's get it in fast. Let's call it, get them out. Our full team's in full buy-in that, man, our best play might be a play that sucks because he's going to break it, extend, throw it to a tall guy down the field. It's a dangerous recipe right now for us to score the football.
On the opposite side, this is more like, instead of danger zone, this is take my breath away.
Wow. Well, it's like you work in social media platform or something.
I was going to say, since you brought up your best play might be kind of just get it to the players and let them work. Tell us what your thought process was as you saw the last play or the game-winning play in the Johns Hopkins game.
I have been on multiple interviews and I've been asked the question every time. And the truth is, I don't know what language I'm allowed to use on here, but what I actually said in my head was, that's effing picked. right when he released it. They'd played us in man coverage almost every snap of the game. They'd mixed a little zone in the second half. We were having more success. You know, he's banged up the first half. They smothered us a little bit, knowing he wasn't going to run it. So we just hadn't seen a ton of zone that day. And all of a sudden we come out of that break, and they had a safety over the top of Blake to the field. They hadn't done it much, and they were matching numbers the other way most of the day. And I didn't know if he saw it. It was too loud to get it to him and scream it, and he let it go, and I said, oh, God, that's effing picked. And then Blake just jumps in front of the cover 2 kid that should have picked it. Right. It's always about players, not plays. Always. It always is. So thank God Blake's really athletic and good.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season, and every month during the off-season as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Now, back to Stagg Bowl 52 from Canton, Ohio. Now on the D3Football.com pregame show as we get you ready for kickoff of Stagg Bowl 52 in Canton, Ohio. We're talking with Brad Spencer, the head coach of North Central, as North Central is here for the 6th consecutive Stagg Bowl. It's a question we've asked many, many times, but how is it for you guys coming back to the Stagg Bowl?
It's great. Feels like home, I guess, in some ways. You have a little bit of past knowledge, I suppose, which, you know, maybe a new thing for River Falls. I talked to Coach Walker about that the day after the semis. Just a little bit about what to expect and, you know, how the week goes. For us, honestly, you feel like you have so much time. You know, having done 4 of them on 4 days, where, you know, if you're traveling back from a semi and then you're on the road again in 48 hours, it's pretty hard to put game plans together, get kids rested. So for us, it's been nice, you know, to adjust a few things from last year that we've done. You know, with Christmas sliding back a day, it's already going to change the calendar. But it feels great to be back. It's great to be back in Canton. They're doing a great job hosting and serving us since, you know, we got here late last night. But you know, hopefully want to redo that result. I want to leave Canton with a different feeling than we did in 21. That's the biggest thing. There's definitely a little bit of PTSD walking in the hotel and kind of like, yeah, last time we were here, we were leaving after getting our butts whooped by Mary Hart and Baylor. But, you know, different circumstances this time. It's not post-COVID. You're different teams, different. I mean, everything's so different. The kids that are here weren't even in school then, except for maybe Blaha. He's been at River Falls forever. But yeah, no, we're really excited to be back. Everybody's just been treating us really well, and just excited to be able to take on. I think we've got the 2 best teams in D3 football this year. I think kind of everybody would agree with that. I think we're going to be playing the Glardy Trophy winner if I had to bet. So it's going to be a great game. I think everybody is, you know, ESPN, it's going to be, if you're in a bar, it's going to be right next to the Ravens and Steelers on TV, so that's kind of a neat thing. But we're just really excited to be back here and to bring this senior group. Every year is so unique. Every group's so unique. This group seems, you know, especially unique because you're finding ways to win in different ways. You know, for us, it's really been 3-phase football, you know, scoring touchdowns on defense, special teams at a high rate this year. You know, I expected that. The offense has come along kind of in the way we expected with, so many new starters, 8 starters, brand new week 1 versus Oshkosh. So those guys have just made a lot of strides, and it's been fun to see how our coaching staff has just kind of plugged away with them and continued to coach them. Even this morning we're having meetings, and, guys are getting coached hard, and we're pointing out the things that need to change for this afternoon's meetings and practices. But overall, the general feeling, I think we're all just very thankful and blessed to be back in this position. Feel like you're doing what you set out to do.
People who might have looked at your first couple of drives of the season against Oshkosh and might have taken some joy in the fact that maybe North Central was going to take a step back, that obviously did not happen.
Yeah. Yes, it started out very ambiguous against Oshkosh with 3 and out, fumble, punt block, down 7-0, 3 and out again. And defense stepped up, and then it's kind of like the guys got their feet wet a little bit and started to move from there. It took a couple of games, but I think the offensive line, that's the most important thing. Yes, we have to replace Luke Lane, and yes, we have to replace some receivers and tight ends, running backs, Joe Sacco. So there's a lot of All-Americans that you're replacing, but for us in our program, our O-line, our D-line are the most important, most pivotal people. So replacing those 4 up front, Coach Studerman, our offensive coordinator, and O-line coach has just done a magnificent job to have our offense leading the country in scoring again, with replacing that many guys. Something that you set out at the beginning of the year and you're not really focusing on, hey, let's be in this place statistically or that. You're really just focusing on improving every week, and they've done that, and that's been a great joy. You go back, you do self-scouts. We did self-scouts in all the bye weeks and things like that, and halfway through the season, and you watch some of those early games, and you just kind of smile and go, wow, we are a different team. We were a different offense, different O-line than what we were early in the year, and it's just been really good progress. But that's the nature of the beast with football. You have a 17-week season. You're going to have some ebbs and flows, some up and down. I told our guys the other night after practice, I think we still have our best game in us. I really do. So we're working to hopefully perform that way on Sunday night.
To the uninitiated, and I would consider myself that in terms of line play, what can a person look for to know that the line is being more cohesive, performing better, whatever it is, as something progresses over the year?
Sure. There's a number of data points you can look at. You can certainly look at, for us, rushing yards, yards per carry, sacks, but you can get hidden and lost in that a little bit, right? Like, liars figure and figures lie. You have to watch the film, and most importantly, MAs are down. They're working together better when fronts are moving, when you've got pressure. People are standing still. It's pretty easy. You've got to be good when people are moving. You've got to be good when somebody's aligned differently than what you saw on film. You've got to be good at adjusting. Obviously, the film on the field helps with those adjustments, and I think our staff, Coach Studerman, do a wonderful job of seeing, IDing, okay, in the first drive or two, this is how they're playing differently than maybe what we had anticipated based on film. Because the other guys, they coach too, right? Like, it's not just us coaching, the other guys coach too. But I think, number one, it's with new linemen or new any position, it's missed assignments that disappear fast. That's the first thing that changes and needs to change. Beyond that, now you got to look at technique. That's the other thing. When you have young guys, and we have a lot of young guys in our two deep, the technique, because they just need reps. You get new kids from high school, you don't know what their coaching was. Usually, a lot of times, high school kids don't even have an O-line coach, right? Like, they just have an offensive coach or a box coach or whatever it might be. So seeing the development of technique, for us, technique, discipline, and finish are the 3 things that we focused on this playoffs. And so to continue to play with technique, when you get into crunch time, you get into pressure situations, you want to fall back on your technique, your training. If you look historically at the best players in the NFL all the time, if you listen to them talk, they will talk about when they were in big situations, they would just focus on their technique. Just focus on your technique. And so for us, that's what it boils down to, and that's kind of what we look at. Again, the stats can be misleading based on who you're playing, what's the weather, is the quarterback hurt, is he healthy, what does the film like? Is our technique getting better, and is our discipline getting better?
One thing I'm curious about from a preparing for River Falls standpoint is what's it like to have to be able to have 15 days to do that, maybe send the kids home for the holidays for a couple days, as opposed to having to do that in that really condensed 6-day turnaround. Has there been any advantage to trying to stop an offense that's trying to move at a really blistering pace? Has the extra time been helpful to prepare for that?
Yeah, short answer, yes. I think it is no matter what. And I think that it's going to be interesting to look like 10 years down the road when you have the 2 weeks as opposed to the 4 days. Because I think if you look back at scores of teams that played in the 4 days, and I think of the 2018 Mary Hardin Baylor Mount Union game, it was like 18-17 or 17-14. You have these two magnificent offenses, and they couldn't produce anything. And yes, the defenses are really good. But I think if you look at scores, you get some scores that maybe wouldn't be characteristic of if you had a full week or 2 weeks to play. And so I think with the 2-week prep, I think you get an opportunity, at least each staff, to put in more what you think can work, if that makes sense. For us, I think the time off can be good because you can prep, come up with more plans. I think it also can be a negative in that if you let the kids rest too much, they get out of shape. They lose their technique. They lose the sharpness. And so I thought for us this year, I thought we actually had better practices this year in that bye week than we did last year. Could be the group, could be the changes we made. But I thought they did a better job in those practices of competing with each other, being on task, and being better at football movements. But we'll see. We'll see come Sunday night. But as a coach, you like to have a real week. I mean, even if the game was just, the week after the semis on a Saturday or Sunday, that would be nice. It's the Friday, leaving Tuesday, that makes it almost impossible to put anything solid into play. And like I said, we've having done it last year, just us Mount Union to have that experience, we're the only ones. Having done it last year, I think we were able to kind of fall back on our training and adjust the things we needed to adjust. So I'm fascinated to see how it'll work. But like River Falls is so unique in what they do. I mean, their system is their system. You're not finding it anywhere else. It's their system. They created it during COVID. They created it for Caleb. It's unique. I'm thankful that we got to see Bethel, who's an up-tempo. There's differences, though. Don't get me wrong. There's differences. But I'm thankful that we were able to do that so that our kids could experience it. And then I think the extra week off, it allowed us to do more good versus good and try and simulate things for each other, if that makes sense, that you wouldn't on 4 days be able to do because you're just trying to rest bodies. And you're just trying to get the guys, get the horses to the race. When in 2023, Joe Sacco played with a cracked pelvis in the Stagg Bowl. And we didn't know, unfortunately. He didn't complain about anything. Yeah, my hip hurts. Just did treatment and everything, but there's not time to get an MRI. There's not time to get imaging. Whereas in these situations, we could get guys imaging the Monday after the semi before Christmas, figure things out, and then go from there if we needed to.
And we welcome you back to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, where we're waiting on kickoff here in just a matter of moments. Patrick Coleman along with Keith McMillan. And Keith, we'll get keys to the game after this kickoff. How about that?
It's fine by me. Let's go.
8:03 kickoff. and the kick is away, and it is taken by North Central at the 15-yard line up to the 27 before they are swarmed. Keith, your keys.
Well, the keys for River Falls, of course, is not to make this game bigger than it is, right? To be the team that they've been all year. And we talked to the coaches in the past couple of days, and they are all in on being themselves. That means the keys are to get North Central out of its rush 4-7 in coverage shell, right? They want to get that second safety to drop down. They are happy. And a lot of teams don't do this against North Central. They try to get up quick. They are happy to dink and dunk. Death by 1,000 cuts, I believe, was the phrase that they use. If they have to work it slow, that's fine.
So the North Central starting offenses, they're going right to left across your monitor here in quarter number 1. And here's the handoff to McMillan. McMillan is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, brought down by Riley Ashburn, the starting safety. So let's get you the River Falls defense. Also, Taylor Sisner, Andre Hall, they're the other safeties. Braden Jones, Trent Cherry, the cornerbacks. Gage Tim and Noah Nussbaum are the linebackers. On the ends, Connor McKenzie and Jack Olson. We are on the lookout for Cody Curtis. He may make a return tonight at full health, but otherwise we're expecting up front Carter Quam, John Klefstad. The North Central starting offense, of course, with Garrett Wilson, and they have a 3-receiver set along with tight end Isaac Banker. Coming up on 2nd down and 10 from the 27. Dropping back to pass is Garrett Wilson, the quarterback. Pass complete, first down and more for Jack Rummel up across the 40 to the 43-yard line. I'll get you the rest of the North Central offense from across the front. Don't want to give these guys short shrift, but there's not a ton of time to talk about Tyson Kramer, Brock Nunez, Jared Durian, Johnny Golden, Cortez Jones, Isaac Banker mentioned the tight end, Thomas Skokna, Jack Rummel, the wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, of course, the quarterback, and Donovan McNeil, the running back with 1,462 yards this season. Here on 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line, rolling to the left, looking to, he's going to keep it himself across the 45, makes a man miss, and gets across midfield, just short of the first down marker on 1st and 10. They talked about Garrett Wilson. They might have like 3 or 4 designed runs for him all day, but one of them right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that was designed. I think he had a run pass option and had an option to throw and tuck it. He's not afraid to tuck it, but his strength is not throwing on the move. His strength is hitting guys, the receivers that are on the move.
So 2nd down and 1. 3 receivers out to the right-hand side. Man in motion towards the left. Here's the give to McNeil. Plenty of room. First down, 45 and more. 40, 30, across the 20 to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, North Central. 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the game, and the Cardinals are on top first.
Huge block by center Jared Durian to spring McNeil for the long run. And surprisingly enough, River Falls is okay with this. If North Central is going to score, they want them to score fast. They do not want North Central to milk 8-minute drives and then come out with a touchdown. Now, obviously, they don't want to give up a lot of touchdowns, but if it's going to happen, it's going to be fast, right? That way, River Falls can get the ball back in their offense's hands. They believe if they get the ball offensively enough times over the course of the game, good things will happen.
Aiden Ellison, All-American kicker, on to attempt the extra point. Kick is on its way, of course, plenty of distance, and it is through. 12:57 to go here in the first half. There in this game, of course, TV timeouts. Sometimes we will take timeouts and they will be extended. Sometimes we will ignore those timeouts and go down to Seth Howard, our third person on the field. In other situations, they're going to roll through a TV timeout like they did just now, and we will get you the River Falls starting offense. Across the front, left tackle DJ Fox, it's Peyton Kopp, the left guard, Kevin Spahn, center Jack Halvick at right guard, Hunter McKinney, the right tackle. The wide receivers, Blake Rohrer, Austin Rush, Jake Hilton, Jalen Reed, all sorts of guys, Steven Reifensberger, Ben Wesolowski. We'll see which ones are on field at any given time. Of course, Caleb Blaha, the quarterback, Keith, Ghilardi Trophy winner, just an incredible talent here at the Division III level.
Yeah, and it's part of what they do is put a lot on him and let him make decisions both pre-snap and after the snap, and the wide receivers are making those decisions in real time as well, as opposed to predetermining where the routes are going to be. But the thing that makes Caleb Blaha special is he always makes that first guy miss. He's got the escapability in the backfield to extend a play, to make it hard to defend. North Central's goal defensively is going to be to just rush their 4 up front, including their all-star stud J.P. Sullivan. If they can rush 4 and they can drop 7 in coverage, they may be able to deal with Blaha, but River Falls is expecting this.
Daniel Stokes along with Jalen Reed back deep, awaiting the kickoff, and it will be taken by Reed at his own 6-yard line, coming up the right-hand side of the field, and is going to get knocked out of bounds right away at the 22-yard line. River Falls, they are in the white with red numerals, and there is a North Central player down on the field, a little slow to get up. We'll get you an update on that in just a moment. North Central, they are in the red with white numbers and black helmets, and the officials take a timeout on the field. We'll be back in just a moment here on D3Football.com.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
Back out here at Tom Benson Stadium. Let's go down to Seth Howard on the field.
Yeah, Pat, down here, after that long run, this Falcons team, man, they're not shaded at all by that long run. They're ready to go out here on this next drive and attack.
Seth, we heard Matt Walker, actually, I think we heard the coordinators talk about it's okay to give up a quick score as long as it gets a chance for their offense to get back on the field. Maybe they don't want to give up a quick 7, but it seems like maybe that's a possibility.
No, absolutely. They said all week they're going to be aggressive. They're going to play their brand of football. Coach Walker said before this, I don't care if we get beat 100-0. They're going to play their game.
All right. Thanks a lot, Seth.
Well, they are 7 points in that direction, and certainly River Falls would like to see its offense function well, just to get your sea legs, right? Just to feel good that you belong in this Stagg Bowl. I know this team all week has had the opportunity of the attitude of a team that isn't afraid, but obviously you don't want to give up a touchdown the first 3 minutes.
Here's a 4-receiver set for Blaha. He takes a short drop. He looks, passes complete to Rush, but Rush is hit right away. Rush at a gain of just a couple. It'll be 2nd down and long. The defense for North Central across the front, Bobby Medina, J.P. Sullivan, Maverick Oli, and Eli Rennick. The linebackers, Matthew Janiak and Danny Nuccio. There's not enough time, Patrick. You have to learn that yourself. And that pass is incomplete, again looking for Rush. Linebackers, Nuccio and Janiak. The corners, Roby and Daniel. Garrigan, Green, and Quirk are the safeties, and it's quickly 3rd down and 8. Here for River Falls going left to right. 12:31 and holding here in the first quarter. 7-0. North Central with the lead here in Stagg Bowl 52. Trevor Asher to his right. Stopping back, looking to pass, lost it, and misses Rush again, incomplete. It was the Austin Rush possession, the Austin Rush drive. He made 1 catch out of 3 targets for a total of 2 yards, and a rare sighting, the River Falls punt team.
Yeah, and that's not a good drive for them. I mean,
that's right.
Not just, took 30 seconds, but it went exactly how North Central wanted to go. Any completions, rally to tackle, right? Kyler Green comes up, makes the stick for a 2-yard gain, and then you get 2 incompletions. Even though River Falls is giving you creative formations and giving the defense a lot to think about, North Central's defense handled it.
Skokin and David Ballard back to receive, but this is going to be waved dead.
Timeout. North Central, they're first.
And North Central's key today was is to get those calls in quickly, right? River Falls wants to run a play every 20 seconds, so that means they can't substitute North Central. The defense can't substitute unless there's a dead ball or unless River Falls is substituting on offense. It also means you can't move things around a whole bunch. You can't communicate a bunch of calls. You have to keep those calls simple. Get them in quickly, right? The coverage that you want, any upfront pressures that you want. Get all that stuff in quickly. And they've been working on that, obviously, for the past 15 days. The break now, for the longest, right, was a 6-day turnaround from the semifinals to the Stagg Bowl. Now you have 15 days to work on that.
So they're asking for 2 more seconds to be added to the game clock. And our officiating crew today is from the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. You just heard referee Matt Bushy, the umpire Jacob Shoup, Peyton Alley, the line judge, side judge Terry O'Frederick, line judge Caleb Crawford, field judge Nick Summer, back judge Matt Alexander, alternate is John Disney, and then our replay crew is from the Atlantic Coast Conference. They're in the booth to our right. We'll try to use that information judiciously. Jeffrey Freund on to punt. And it's going to be taken by Skokna on the run at his own 45. He cuts right. He makes a man miss, cutting upfield across 50 into the territory of River Falls and across the 45 and run out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Great opportunity, obviously, here as they set up shop in good field position.
Yeah, the field position is great, but North Central didn't need great field position the first time because they broke a long run. And I think what River Falls needs to do right now is just get people on the ground. And I know it's obviously, simple. That is the goal, right? But they need to have a good defensive series or else they run the risk of North Central really putting a stranglehold on this thing early. And to be honest, North Central didn't do anything special, and River Falls has the size up front defensively to match up with this very big North Central offensive line.
Rummel and Skokna out to the left-hand side, and here's the give to McNeil on first down. Got some room across the line of scrimmage down to about the 40-yard line where he is brought down by Peter Ledoux, one of 3 cornerbacks that get in the mix for River Falls. Defensively, that's a gain of 4 on first down to be 2nd and 6. We see Grant McAtee on the field as a wide receiver. He's a 6'5 sophomore. Sometimes they line him up as tight end.
Or H-back. They'll move those guys all around.
Short drop for Garrett Wilson here on 2nd down. First down complete to McAtee across the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. Upended there by Braden Jones, but not till he has first down yardage.
Yeah, and we'll talk a lot about the size of the River Falls wide receivers. They have 4 guys that are 6'3", or 6'5", and are over 200 pounds. Grant McAtee is that guy for North Central. Skokna, Rummel are shorter guys, a lot more shifty. Grant McAtee is their big target. He's 6'5", 208.
He's out to the left, along with Jalen Johnson, 2 bigger 6'5 guys. Here's a handoff in the backfield to Sean Allen. Allen on first down gets the give, and he goes for about 4, and the ball, just a little bit of, one-on-one intense conversation between John Clefstad and Miles Walton. Thanks to Craig Thomas and Keith McMillan for spotting those 2 for me and getting each of you spotting one person. Right, exactly. Not both of you the same person. Worked out well.
Notable, of course, that Sean Allen is in the backfield in this series for North Central, but this is common for them to rotate as many as 4 running backs.
He's got 8 rushing touchdowns on the season. Here's a quick out to Skokna around the 20 to the 10, and it will be first down and goal here for the Cardinals as the ball is knocked out of bounds, and Skokna is knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Skokna came into the night, 81 catches for 1,226 yards and 23 touchdowns, and had kind of a quiet couple of weeks. It had been kind of the Jack Rummel show for a week. It's been the Donovan McNeil show in the backfield a lot here in this postseason.
And Pat, that's just a simple bubble screen, an RPO staple, and then North Central's guys block better, and Skokna's able to turn the corner.
So first down and goal. This is on the 7-yard line. Handoff. Nope, the ball comes out, and it's recovered by River Falls. Gage Tim jumps right on it. And a bit of a miss on the exchange.
It's just Garrett Wilson holding it too long, not being decisive in making his read, right? He's either got to give that to the back or pull it himself, and he has been known to pull it. He drops it right to Gage Tim. And now Gage Tim is coming off the edge. And so it makes that decision a little harder for Garrett Wilson because Gage Tim's split is so far outside that Wilson didn't know whether to keep it himself or hand it off. I think he should have probably given it to the back.
38th takeaway for the River Falls defense. Here's Blaha looking to throw on 1st and 10.
Pass interference.
I know it should be a flag out there, but it's a big catch all the way to midfield. Running down there, Jake Hilton, the sophomore from Prescott, Arizona.
This is what we mean with River Falls, right? Those first 4 minutes couldn't have gone any worse. You give up a huge touchdown, you go 3 and out, and then here they are, turnover, and they're back at midfield.
Blaha is going to run it himself. He's up across the line of scrimmage and runs out of bounds at the 49-yard line for a gain of 2 on 1st down and 10.
This team has the swagger, I think, also to deal with a little bit of that stretches of the game where things don't go so well because so quickly they can get themselves back in it. Obviously, just 7-0 here. We're about 6 minutes in.
2nd and 8. Blaha rolls to the left, looking for Reed out of the backfield. Reed is brought down. Great tackle one-on-one there by Ethan Gork, the nickel defender, the safety.
Yeah, and Gork is a guy who has been involved in a lot of big plays this season, including...
Well, this 3rd down and 4 is going to be pretty big.
He made that goal line tackle against Bethel at halftime.
Yeah, I understand that one. There's Caleb Blaha, 1st down and more across the 40, down to the 35. Brought down there after a long gain by Kyler Green.
Look, River Falls right back on the ball.
And he made the first guy miss, is what Greg is putting in our ear, which is absolutely correct. Ball on the 34. 1st and 10. Rolling to the right-hand side is Blaha. Blaha looks complete, and out of bounds right away is Jake Hilton. Nope, make that Steven Reifensberger. Big 6'5 junior out of Hastings, Minnesota. Looks like a tight end body-wise, lines up as a receiver.
All 4 of their wide receivers, except for Austin Rush, all their wide receivers look like tight ends.
or at least big, tall, dang wide receivers.
This is not Blaha in the backfield.
That is true. Here's Jalen Reed. He takes it and keeps it himself. Looks like he was going to pitch it to Blaha. Spins off a tackle across the 30 down to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and minimal distance. Yes, you're right. Jalen Reed lined up. Blaha was out in a kind of a slot position. Blaha started his career as a wide receiver at Winona State. You could throw the ball to him, but instead they used him as a really effective decoy. 3rd and 1. Blaha on the keepers, got the 1st down across the 25 and down to the 22-yard line. Move the chains, 7:24 and counting here in the 1st quarter, 7-0 North Central.
Yeah, and all that play does when you direct snap to Jalen Reed and then Caleb Blaha's lined up as wide receivers gives that North Central defense more to think about, and they don't have a lot of time to think anyway.
We don't have time to think. You kidding me? I kind of like this, though. This is fast break football. Jalen Reed goes out as part of a 3-receiver set to the right side, 1 to the left on 1st and 10 from the 22, left to right here for River Falls. Pass, and that's complete. Looks like that is to Hilton for another 1st down. And Jamar Daniel makes the tackle.
He slipped around the 10-yard line, though. This field here in Canton, it's a turf field. It is frozen over, and it's got a little bit of snow on it from about 3 days ago. There's no precipitation tonight.
Blaha on the keeper on 1st and goal, and he slides unintentionally behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1.
Well, hopefully keeping it on theme because he slid at about the same spot where Jamar Daniel fell down. So the turf giveth and the turf taketh away.
Especially that particular spot, huh? It's like you get out there before a basketball game and guys are dribbling and looking for the dead spots on the floor.
Sure.
That seems like what this is. 2nd and goal from the 8. For the Falcons, they're down 7-0 here, midway through the 1st quarter. Blaha with an empty backfield. Still looking to throw, rolls out to the right-hand side, got a man ahead of him, and is picked off at the goal line.
No, hold up.
Yep, incomplete. Ethan Gork just gave him his 10th pass breakup of the year instead of an incomplete pass. So this will be 4th down and a makeable kicking situation for River Falls. Justin Sherburl is 13 of 13 from under 40 yards, and this one would be a 25-yarder, but Blaha is still on the field. My bad.
Yeah,
but it's 3rd down, that's why.
This is also River Falls' MO.
Well, especially on the 3rd. Blaha looking to throw again, looking for Asher out of the backfield. Look now in the end zone.
Threw that
and
one away.
Overthrows his intended receiver. Incomplete. Yeah, Austin Rush drawing double coverage in the corner of the end zone. And now all of those things I said 23 seconds ago about the kicking game come into effect. I'm just trying to be ahead of it.
Well, first of all, we've seen them dial up a fake field goal in the playoffs, so don't take that off the table. Second of all, maybe they just want to get that 0 off the board. It's not really their style.
4th and goal from the 8, though, against the North Central defense. I could see that.
But if they do kick it, it'll be short kicks.
Sherbrill, the senior out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Kick is on the way, has the distance, and it splits the uprights. So with 5:48 to go here in the first, River Falls gets 3 back, and the score is 7-3.
Well, River Falls talks so much about they are going to be who they are. They're not going to change the way they play because North Central is the opponent. And that to me seems like they're changing the way they play. Normally they go for it on 4th down. At the same time, conventional wisdom says get some points if you're down in the red zone, especially get that 0 off the board. It's nice to get those first points just to feel like you belong in the game. It's a close game. We're not getting blown out here. That was a nice drive, and you don't want the mentality of River Falls not getting any points would be a problem.
Coming down to the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, it's sideline reporter Seth Howard.
Hey, Pat, yeah. Needed big points on that drive. You know, it was not looking good there for a minute there. That fumble recovered by Gage Tim. Looking great. Would have loved to have 7 on that drive, but hey, the boys are buzzing down here.
All right, got to remind ourselves, Seth Howard, former University of Wisconsin River Falls quarterback, but we will get reports on North Central as the game goes on as well. Thank you, Seth.
Well, now I can go back to my Ethan Groark note. He almost made that interception on the goal line.
Yeah.
He made a huge play on the goal line against Bethel right before halftime. Bethel had a chance to tie that game at 14. Rourke and Danny Nuccio made that tackle, and North Central pulled away from that game in the second half. That was probably the toughest game anybody gave him in the playoffs. Lacrosse had a close score, but that game was also 28-7 at one point, finished as a 35-27 game, so I don't think that was quite as close as it looked. John Carroll, same way. That was a 41-21, but it really was never close.
Right, it was 35-0, 38-0 or something.
Yeah, North Central's dominated a lot of great teams this season. So as much as we talk about this River Falls schedule and how unprecedented it is that they've beaten 9 playoff teams, some of them in the playoffs, but 5 of them before they even got to the playoffs. And not only just because they play in the WIAC, which is generally regarded as one of the tough conferences, and also got 4 teams into the postseason this year.
Right.
Which was unprecedented. River Falls has had this amazing schedule. Johns Hopkins probably going to be the number 3 team in the poll, unless they end up as number 2 somehow.
I say we have about 11 ballots in. Last I checked, it doesn't seem likely that anybody but River Falls or North Central will be 1 or 2.
That's probably how it should be. But I suppose if River Falls were to win 53-7, you could say maybe John Carroll at 48-41 kept it closer, and they deserve to be number 2. Johns Hopkins, you're right. All that is to say, as much as River Falls has played this unprecedentedly amazing schedule, they've beaten all these teams by double digits, North Central has played a really tough schedule too. These teams actually have 3 common opponents in Oshkosh, Wheaton, and La Crosse. So it's not that North Central's hasn't been tested, it's that they're so good that they've pretty much blown out everybody that they've played this season.
We're glad you joined us here on D3Football.com's audio coverage of Stagg Bowl 52. Of course, ESPN has the rights, and exclusively so, for video. We are glad to bring you, as we have every year since 1999, an exclusive, neutral audio broadcast of the Division III Football National Championship game. And here is the kickoff on the way, and it's taken by North Central at their own 15-yard line, up across the 20, then to the 25, and that is where the North Central offense will start, make it the 27.
And why has North Central been so dominant? Well, part of it goes back to 2019. Once you win a national championship, you're recruiting off of that name, that recognition, the fact that people want to play for a winner. They want to be part of a national championship experience. But it's also this offensive line up front.
Yes.
And these guys,
metaphysical and physical reasons.
Right. The smallest guy at 6'1", 276 is Cortez Jones, the right tackle, who made a tackle in the Stagg Bowl as a defensive tackle.
give on the backfield to McMillan, and he gets a couple of yards, make that really just one up to the 28-yard line.
And I mean, I think what North Central does offensively is not it's not super confusing or anything. It's pretty standard offense for 2026. The fact that they'll run a lot of RPO stuff. The quarterback is in shotgun the entire time, single back, different formations, H-backs, usually just the two receivers. It's not anything special, but they're so much better and they're so good up front.
Here's another give in the backfield now on second down. McMillan makes a man miss and gets out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Just kind of a glancing blow there that Taylor Susner gave him. Everything we heard from River Falls all week is like, we cannot arm tackle that guy, and maybe these guys in general, but definitely that guy, McMillan.
Yeah, I think their big theory is that they want to keep the short gains short. You don't want to let Skokna get free on a crosser, and you don't want to let McMillan stiff arm the first guy and turn a 5-yard run into a 25-yard run.
We got Jack Rummel along with Thomas Skokna. There are two receivers out to the right-hand side here on 3rd down and 6 for North Central. McAtee now out in motion as well. Here's another give to McMillan. He's got room across the 35, first down, and up to the 39-yard line. He needed 6, and he got 8.
Another great block up front by Jared Durian, and also Tyson Kramer. So Durian's the center, and Kramer's the left tackle. Those guys comboed on somebody and crushed them right there in the middle, and that sprung McMillan for the first down.
Ball up to the 39-yard line. Two receivers to the right and one to the left for Garrett Wilson. 192 out of 273 on the season. Little play action, looking to throw. Pass and gets it to Skokna. Skokna was led a little bit too far into River Falls territory, but he dives and makes the catch. And we got whistles down on the field here. If they need to review, they will stop the game, of course.
There's no foul for illegal shift on the offense. There's on the play. First down.
Yeah, there was a flag right here on the 40-yard line. It came out at the beginning of the play, but it was Isaac Banker, the tight end, who did that choppy motion, and then he just came behind the offensive line and actually went out into a route. A lot of times when teams do that with the tight end, they're looking to block and do that sift block and kick out the end on the other side. Banker is basically a 6th offensive lineman. He has 3 catches this season as tight end. If you want to see a tight end make catches, that McAtee will be the guy.
Here's the give in the backfield to Jordan Williams, and he carries a tackler with him across the 40 down to the 36-yard line, a gain of 7 on first down.
So North Central is a single back team, but they're using much more than a single back on any given drive. Donovan McMillan we've seen, Sean Allen we've seen, and now we see Jordan Williams. And there's one more back whose name we'll probably call at some point.
Zeb Rashid.
I was going to wait till he came up to reveal him to the audience.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, we should give Zeb Rashid, a 5'10 freshman who's had 62 carries this season and 432 yards. We'll give him his props right now.
And that was the 63rd carry for Jordan Williams. So these are your 3rd and 4th guys on the depth chart, and they're getting a number of carries.
Wilson takes a snap, gives the handoff once again. That is to Williams. Williams across the sticks, down to the 32-yard line, moves the chains, first down there in River Falls territory. 2:05 and counting remaining in the first quarter. 7-3 the score. North Central in the lead over UW River Falls.
One of the things you can do as a national champion, as you're able to recruit waves of good players year after year, as North Central has, right? A 3-time champion. This is their 6th straight Stagg Bowl appearance. If you're going to be able to recruit waves of good players, you might as well find ways to get them all in the game. And they've done that here. In fact, Devin Ashiru is lined up as the running back.
He sure is. Here's Wilson looking to throw, does throw it to Ashiru and throws it. He catches it. It's a little bit overthrown in the backfield, though, and he will get dropped for a loss of about 1 or 2 yards. It looked like he was setting up, trying to find a way to throw him a backwards pass so that Ashiru could throw downfield.
Yeah, and Demir Ashiru was in the competition for starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. He's a transfer from Ferris State. Garrett Wilson came from Oklahoma State. I don't think they knew immediately which guy would start, and then they use Ashiru in a lot of run packages.
And Greg Thomas wrote a great piece about this and Around the Nation early in the season. Go find that on d3football.com. Here is the handoff to McMillan on 2nd down and 12. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage a little bit more, pickup of about 3.
McNeil is the bell cow, 182 carries this season coming into today. And Sean Allen had 105, and then Rashid and Jordan Williams each had 62. Wilson and Ashiru each carry the ball as well. So even though, again, single back offense, they have at least 6 guys who touch the ball on run plays frequently.
28 seconds and counting remaining here in the quarter. They will need to snap the ball before the end of the quarter. Williams is in the backfield. Wilson awaits the snap. And this will be whistled dead. And it'll be a illegal motion.
False start. 73. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Keith, I know that we have been calling numbers of people in on penalties in college for a little while now, but I feel bad every time that an offensive lineman, in this case Johnny Golden, gets his number checked solely for that.
Well, offensive linemen know what they're signing up for. They don't get a lot of shine except for when they make a penalty. But, if you get to play on a 50-point per game offense, I'd sign up for that. You can call my name out for my bad plays if I get to win a national championship.
And we have come to the end of the first quarter with our score, North Central 7, University of Wisconsin River Falls 3. We'll take a break and we'll be back with more action from Stagg Bowl 52 in just a moment.
For the love of the game, but for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
Back out here at Stagg Bowl 52 as we get you started with the second quarter. North Central leads River Falls by the score of 7-3. Let's send it downstairs for Seth Howard.
Yeah, Pat, so far this North Central team, they feel like a team that, frankly, is supposed to be here. They are humming on all cylinders right now. They want to punch this thing in, man. They want to take the lead to even further heights so far. But, man, they are looking hard to stop right now.
They sure are. Thanks a lot, Seth. Appreciate that. On the opposite side, River Falls, right? The last time around, of course, they got a takeaway. A key takeaway made that last drive stop. They, get enough defensive stops and score almost every time, I was going to say down the floor, because I've called some basketball recently, and again, pace of the game, every time down the field, and then you would have something.
I mean, River Falls, turning the other team over is their MO. They led the country in interceptions with 27. For comparison, North Central had 16 interceptions this season, and this is game 15 for them. So, big difference between one a game and almost two a game. But you can't. I don't know if you can live this entire day on getting turnovers. And the one game,
right?
River Falls lost to the 3 second half turnovers. Hurt offensively, those turnovers hurt them. So, obviously, if we wanted to come up with cliched keys to the game, right? Avoid turnovers, establish the run. Those are like your two go-to ones. But I think River Falls defensively has held up better on this second drive, or on this third drive, than they did on the first one. I mean, that actually is an established fact, right? That's not an I think. But you wanted to see that. I mean, for River Falls, right, their whole key coming in was tackle. Keep everything in front, tackle for short gains. Don't allow North Central to get these long, methodical drives and get 7 at the end of them. So this play right here, a big third down.
10 minutes and 11 seconds, the time of possession in the first quarter for North Central, and they start the second quarter with it here on a 3rd and 13. looking to throw, and pass is complete beyond the first down marker. First down for Jack Rummel. Rummel into the receiving statistics once again, his second catch of the day.
Yeah, and, great catch by Rummel, but Garrett Wilson is back there untouched.
Yeah.
And River Falls just ran a linebacker defensive tackle stunt. So some games up front, hopefully to get the offensive line flustered. North Central picked it up perfectly. Easy throw for Garrett Wilson.
So it'll be first down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Here's the give in the backfield, and nowhere to go, but McNeil shakes out of it. Back at the 30 before he's finally wrapped up by 3 players, among them Jack Olson, the defensive end, finally there to help wrap him up, along with Noah Nussbaum, the linebacker.
Well, Nussbaum was the middle linebacker. He's the one that got the initial hit on McNeil. McNeil broke it in the backfield, but Nussbaum slowed him up enough that the cavalry could come and help him out. Nussbaum also the linebacker they call Meat. It's a great linebacker nickname.
I think it's because he looks like Tim Robbins from Bull Durham. Looking to pass on second down and long, looking down the right-hand side for McAtee. The ball hits the back of the helmet of the defender, and the penalty marker comes out as well. Trent Cherry, the cornerback, I mean, it's the back of the helmet. He's not turned back, obviously.
Well, North Central's going to get 15 yards here. Remember, the college rules are different than the pro rules.
Will they get half the distance?
That's true.
And a first down.
Number 0. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So they will get 15.
All right.
Pat.
Good job.
But they don't get the ball set up inside the 5 line. I actually thought Wilson chose the wrong guy there. He had Rummel streaking down the middle on the post, and he decided to go for McAtee on the wheel, and there were 2 guys in coverage on the wheel. Now, obviously, the safety came off the post and tried to help on the wheel, but I thought if he'd led Rummel over the middle, he'd have had him in the middle of the end zone. Easy for me to say from
the 7th
40,000 feet up, or wherever we are.
We're pretty high up here.
I got a good view up here.
Double tight end set here on first and 10. And here's to give to McNeil, trying to go to the left side, and he's not finding much room. Give him about a yard, and it'll be second down and long. One thing that we were told over the course of the past week, Cody Curtis, the defensive tackle out of Buffalo, Minnesota, an all-region guy, he had surgery to reattach an ankle tendon after the semifinals, and he was cleared to play, and he is playing.
And what says 2026 more than a guy who can have surgery real fast and come back, and then also this 15-day break just wouldn't have been possible for him to play in the semifinal and the Stagg Bowl on the old 6-day turnaround.
Not certainly at full effectiveness anyway. And here is a give in the backfield to Williams. Williams with some room across the 5, actually wrapped up at the 4. So it'll be third down and 1 from there.
River Falls doing a nice job of gang tackling on this drive, right? Not just the first guy getting there, but the second guy, third, fourth, fifth guy getting there. So even though these running backs for North Central, led by McNeil, they often don't go down on the first hit. That's why the River Falls defense has to get there and bring second, third, fourth guy. Everyone has to be pursuing to the ball the entire time and don't ever let up on the play.
201 people listening to this audio broadcast right now. We appreciate you tuning us in. Here is the keeper for Wilson. Goes across the right side, tries to stiff arm Tim, and Tim runs him out of bounds. It's enough for the first down, however, to be first and goal.
Yeah, and that's that frozen part of the field. So when Wilson got pushed out of bounds, he slid about 13 feet. Oh, he went airborne, too. That's on the replay.
And the sun doesn't really touch this part of the field this time of year. We talked about being on the 7th floor, and there's one more level above us. That is blocking the sun from ever reaching that part of the field. It does not melt even during the daytime. Here is the give to McNeil on first and goal, and he's going to stop short of the end zone, but it'll be second and goal from about the 1.
And that's just great tackling, the kind of tackling that will make Jake Wissing proud. Because McNeil had an opportunity to run through somebody and score a touchdown, and instead River Falls is going to have another chance to make a stop here. Obviously, North Central would like to go up 14-3. They're inside the 1-yard line.
That is second and goal from inside the 1. So multiple stops required to get a stop. Skokina out wide to the right. Rummel wide to the left-hand side. Here is the give to McNeil, straight up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, North Central.
You're going to get tired of me saying it. Jared Durian buried his man, and it was an easy touchdown run for McNeil. Look, if you're North Central right now, you've got 2 touchdown drives and another drive that was going pretty well until you fumbled inside the 10-yard line. You've got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. 11:07 left in the second quarter. You got, again, 2 touchdowns and 1 drive that you sort of did it to yourself.
Aiden Ellison on to attempt the extra point. Out of the hold of Chip Dose. Snap is on the way, handled cleanly. Kick is up, and it is good. 11:07 remaining here in the first half. North Central up 14-3. Aiden Ellison with the PAT. This was a 15-play, 73-yard drive that burned 9 minutes and 38 seconds, Keith.
Yeah, and again, it's that line working up front, okay? These North Central offensive linemen are big, right? But River Falls has got the size to match. On that touchdown run, it's Durian at 6'2", 294, 64. I can't read apparently. And then he's going against Carter Quam.
84.
He's going against Carter Quam, who's 6'4", 290, right? So it's not a size thing, right? It's just Durian getting his technique, and he's got that block, and he just buried Quam, and it made an easy run for McNeil.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back after this here at Stagg Bowl 52.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
The musical stylings that DJ Mentos bring us back out to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here in Canton, Ohio, where River Falls fans have no regard for shirts. You literally hear on the sidelines coaches talking about calling this game 0-0 going back out, either if you're River Falls on the River Falls side, not feeling down about being down 14-3. If you're North Central, certainly not letting up against these guys, not letting up on this stage.
Yeah, and if there's an offense anywhere in college football that can get a team back in the game quickly, it's this River Falls offense. They led all divisions in yardage by about 50 yards. I think Ferris State was second at 515. River Falls started the playoffs averaging 575 a game. That average has actually gone down to about 550, 545 coming in. So this offense can get them back in it quickly, and I don't think River Falls is super worried about its offense. But defensively, right now, North Central is just going up and down the field doing what they want, and that's what you got to worry about. This offense is going to have to start matching scores if they want to keep this close.
Daniel Stokes and Jalen Reed back deep to receive. It is taken by Reed at his own 17-yard line, up across the 20 to the 28, and then across the 30, even up to the 32-yard line. I know we got Seth Howard waiting downstairs. We may have to wait for a dead ball. There's not a ton of time when River Falls offense is on the field, but there is a media timeout. Seth, perfect timing. What you got?
Pat, I just let him know that, hey, we got a legend at UWRF down here with me, Adam Cowles. Adam, first of all, thank you so much for taking some time and also making the drive out here to Canton. First of all, I just want to ask you, what has it been like to see your alma mater make such a historic run throughout these playoffs?
It's unbelievable. I mean, everybody's come together. It's so exciting for the alumni, the community of River Falls. Everybody is just jumping on board. It's awesome. I mean, we took a big alumni football picture on the other side of the stadium before the game. You see guys you haven't seen forever, but you put in all this work, and we couldn't be more excited for this group that's doing what they're doing. It's just fantastic.
So far, obviously, North Central looks like a team that has been here before. What are you seeing so far as a legend at the University of Wisconsin River Falls?
Well, that's exactly the thing. They've been here. You kind of, they're running their stuff, and we got to get off the field on D, but we will. And it's early. Our offense will get going, and they just haven't quite clicked yet. We had a big turnover and the drive down and had to stop for a field goal, but I like what we're doing. We just got to stay with the plan, and we try to get a lot of snaps every time. So it's going to happen. We're just going to keep at it.
Adam, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Seth. Thank you.
Absolutely. Back to you, Pat.
Able to bring it. Yeah. Thank you a lot, Seth.
Well, what is so cool about what Cortland did in 2023 and what River Falls is doing in 2025 is it's showing programs that have been pretty good or that have, on the upswing, that there is a path for them to get here to have this national championship experience. As fun as it was from 2005 to 2015 when Mount Union and Whitewater played almost every year. St. Thomas made it a couple times. You started to see the same familiar faces then. Mary Hardin Baylor emerged as a third Purple Power, and then in 2019, North Central emerged as a fourth national powerhouse. And right now, they're the dominant team on top of Division III. But you look at River Falls, this team was 2-8 6 years ago.
Right.
So it can happen for your program if you get the right guy, the right coaches, the right mix of players, and it helps to be in River Falls in Wisconsin recruiting these 6'8", 6'5" offensive linemen.
Blaha, he hits rush this time. First down, 40, midfield, and into North Central territory. A big pickup on first down, a gain of 25 yards.
Yeah, caught North Central in a zone where Groark was playing short, and there were two vertical routes.
Here's a give in the backfield and gets some room to run. Trevor Asher gets his name called for the first time in the backfield on the day, and he picks up 7.
And again, I think River Falls confident that they can get it going offensively and turn this into a shootout.
Blaha looking to throws, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Rohrer. Rohrer has had a little bit of difficulty getting open. He has been lined up quite often on Ramari Roby, but in this case, Danny Nuccio knocking it loose.
Yeah, if the Sam linebacker is sticking one of your wide receivers, that's a win for the defense.
3rd down and 3. Blaha looks to throw. Pass complete. First down. Penalty marker comes out. Austin Rush gets out of bounds. That's kind of in the position of offensive pass interference.
Yeah, the early flag looked like probably a pick, but then there was a late flag also that came from the back judge.
That is true.
Or the side judge.
We'll hear from it downstairs.
So these may offset.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 18. It's a 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Maybe they both saw the same thing, but one guy just threw his flag a lot later.
Much later, yes. Apparently so.
Yeah. It's kind of ticky-tack, to be honest. He just shoulder bumped him on the way through his route, which is how they would coach you to do it. I don't love it, but it's a pass interference call on Blake Rohrer. Matt Walker also doesn't love it.
And you're a defensive guy. That's offensive pass interference you don't love. I just want people to know that. Blaha gets shaken out of the pocket, looking to still throw downfield, and it's overthrown a couple of intended receivers, nearly picked off, nearly a diving grab made by Braden Garrigan, and now it's 4th down and very long, and this is a punt.
And this is the Matt Walker philosophy where, they're going to go on 4th down, pretty much anything over midfield, but he says, I reserve the right to not be an idiot.
And this would be in the idiotic realm, it would be 4th and 17 from your own 45. 4th and 18 officially.
That's a big penalty now on Blake Rohrer because that drive looked like it was starting to hum a little bit.
And they've been off the field for 9.5 minutes. Freund gets the snap, and his kick is a low line drive. Skokna lets it hop a couple times, and it will continue to roll, and it'll go out of bounds nicely for River Falls at the 12-yard line. So a 43-yard punt, no return. And with 9:55 to go here in the first half, North Central gets the ball back, already up 14-3.
Well, you get this far in the season, right? You are who you are. You're not going to necessarily change the plans that got you here. But River Falls may need to dial up some pressure if they can get North Central into a 3rd and long, and that's the problem. North Central's gaining yards on 1st and 2nd down, not spending a whole lot of time in obvious passing situations.
We'll be back in just a moment here at Stagg Bowl 52. I can't get buttons to go.
The ball was tipped. 2nd down.
Well, that's why it was underthrown.
That would explain a lot.
Rummel was streaking wide open, though. So that's one, if you're up here in the box for North Central, if you're on the offensive staff, you say, all right, put that one away. If we get that.
The previous play is under review for the ball being tipped.
If we get that same look, we can run Rummel again
So they are stopping to review this. And the person at the far side is trying to look kind of deep through a sea of players to see if the ball was actually tipped or not.
And I'm not sure where they're going to land on this one. It looked like there was pressure as Wilson let go of the ball.
I don't know that you're going to get something to overturn what's on the field.
Oh, yeah. They just showed it on the big board here. Nussbaum is the one who came in, and he pretty much gave Wilson a high five as he lets it go. That's why the ball was short. I don't know if you guys can hear the crowd, Mike. But
I love it, actually. So first off, I want to thank Corey from ESPN and Ace from here in the stadium for getting us a fantastic feed.
The ruling on the field has been upheld. Second down.
And so there you go. No pass interference because of the deflection at the line of scrimmage.
Right. Correct call.
Or at the point of release.
And puts North Central in a 2nd and 10. So all of that, and North Central still in perfectly fine shape here. But a big play for the River Falls defense, because to not give up 15 more yards when North Central's been rolling offensively in this first half.
And if you missed us for a couple seconds, it's 2nd and 10 for North Central at their own 24-yard line here in the second quarter of 14-3. Here's the give in the backfield, and Jordan Williams getting another carry, getting the call once again. His 4th carry of the day. He's up over 20 yards, and he picks up about 4.5.
Another great play and a tackle by the defensive tackle, Carter Quam. And that's the life inside. Sometimes you're going to get buried, and sometimes you're the one making the play, and you get the shot in on the offensive lineman. And a big part of playing defense, well, any spot on the football field, but especially defensive line, where you're just sometimes getting double teamed, crushed, buried, pushed away, thrown to the ground, is to have a short memory, be able to get up and make big plays further in the game.
3rd down and 6. North Central taking its time, play clock at 5, and here's the snap. Wilson looking to throw downfield, looking to throw at the second level for Rummel, and just overthrows Rummel. Rummel being locked up defensively by Trent Cherry, the cornerback, and this will be a 4th down and a punt, presumably a punt situation.
Yeah, great series for the River Falls defense. Again, that penalty, that tip at the line by Nussbaum, huge. That seemed like it was maybe a one-option route for North Central. They rolled out Wilson, and Wilson was going to Rummel the whole way. Rummel was never open, and he wasn't even really running all that hard at the back end of the route because he was so well covered. That play really never had a shot, and we're getting a North Central punt.
Chip Doe standing back at his own 13-yard line awaiting the snap. It's a low snap, but he quickly gets a low line drive kick away. Jalen Reed just lets it bounce and roll, and it rolls and bounces inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line, and that is where River Falls will take over a big, long punt with a big old roll. A 47-yard punt, no return.
Media, timeout.
We'll take a break. We'll be back after this. I'm almost certain we'll be able to get back from this break.
For the love of the game, but for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
That's not my stat. Also, not going to be my stat. Not my stat. That may be the most incredible stat.
You hear the not my stat drop as we come back here midway through quarter number 2, and that is because Greg Thomas with the stat. The total number of snaps right now, 18 total plays offensively for UW River Falls, and we are 22 and a half minutes into this game, 3/8 of the way through the contest, and that's been a struggle. They've not been able to get the defense off the field all that often. Looking to run is Caleb Blaha with some room across the 20, the 30, and runs out of bounds at the 31. A pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and as for North Central, like good things are going great, but there's 7:34 left in the second quarter, so things have to go great for another 37 minutes or so to hoist this national championship trophy.
Blaha looking to run again. He goes to the right-hand side. He's got some room to 35, trying to cut up field. Does 40, first down and more. Out of bounds right there at the 40-yard line, moving the chains.
Okay, River Falls will shift gears during the game, and right now we're seeing a gear shift where if North Central is going to stay in the shell, they will run with Blaha. That gives them an extra man on offense.
Right, it's like a 6-back offense. Here's a pass to the tight end out of the backfield with a little bit of room across the 45, pick up of 6.
An actual tight end,
Adam Johnstone.
And he is not a small man, 6'5", 250?
Yep, his 18th catch of the season. It brings up 2nd down and 4, just short of midfield. Blaha now looking to throw. Looking near side, pass complete, and right out of bounds as Jake Hilton moved the chains and into North Central territory.
Yeah, North Central's they're just playing a 2-deep zone, and there's going to be a hole in that zone if you're playing cover 2, where that means the 2 corners are up tight, the 2 safeties are playing on the deep hashes, and there's going to be a hole on the deep sideline.
The previous play of a completed catch, inbounds, is under review.
All right.
The question is whether it's inbounds. It should be easy.
Should be quick. Only need 1 foot in college.
Hilton is running towards the sidelines as he does it. This is a replay crew, as we said near the beginning, out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. We see in the stadium, Hilton.
Man, he got 2 feet in, man.
I think he did. Slowing down the pace of the game, Greg says. The River Falls offense, the only thing that's slowing them down right now is replay review. I mean, that's true, except, of course, they've scored 3 points. So,
yeah, but
on this drive, yes.
This drive, right, this is what Joe Matheson wants. If North Central is going to continue to give him a 2-deep shell, he'll run with Blaha, and they'll attack the holes in the zone. And he talked a little bit about it, right? They don't mind dinking and dunking.
On the field of a completed catch is confirmed.
Sorry.
First down.
I thought we'd established that it was a catch. I didn't realize we still had to check with him about that. It was pretty obvious in real time and also on replay.
They're wearing the stripes. It's important for them to have their opinion relayed here. 6:31 to go here in the second quarter. River Falls with the football. Down 14-3 at the North Central 38-yard line. Blaha with a quick swing out to Trevor Asher, the running back. A blocker slips and falls, but Asher gets a good amount there, and it will be 3rd down and about 4. Maybe that's not a great amount, but
he did not slip. He got pushed to the ground by Braden Garrigan, who also made the tackle.
Quick snap, pass, complete, 1st down, and a little bit more across the 25, down to the 20-yard line, and that is Ben Wesolowski bringing the ball in.
All right, North Central's in its base 2-5, and they seem fine with this.
Yeah, and they have to be because they're not getting a lot of opportunity. But here, Jalen Reed comes in, and Trevor Asher is going to run all the way off the field. North Central is going to sub. Graham White and Tucker Johnson, a couple of reserve defensive linemen, are coming into the game.
And this is
slowly coming out as the clock ticks.
I mean, these guys could not be getting off the field any slower.
They're going to call for defensive delay of game. The play clock's
now
at
the umpire's standing over the ball.
But you do have to do it. Getting across the 15 and down to the 14-yard line, that is the slowest, Adam Johnstone with the catch, the slowest run off the field I've ever seen.
Yeah, clearly, thoughtful and by design.
Second down and about 3. Now Blaha looks back to the sidelines.
North Central knows it can't substitute defensively unless River Falls gives them an opportunity to. So their plan is to basically not substitute. But if they can, especially rotate defensive linemen in, it'll help them.
Looking to throw is Blaha, looking in the end zone, and pass
What a catch.
is caught. Touchdown, Blake Rohrer. And with 4:50 to go here in the second, the River Falls offense is something to be happy about, and so do 1,800 people here as River Falls fans from the look of it.
Yeah, they filled up the whole middle section of the far side of the stadium here at Hall of Fame Stadium. What a throw. And I think Caleb Blaha actually thought about that for a second. He double pumped it, and so he let it go late to the very back corner of the end zone. Blake Rohrer had to go up, catch it. He sort of body caught it, and he was falling backwards and had to get his feet in front of the back corner of the pylon, in front of the coverage from
Justin Sherburl. Extra point attempt on the way, and it is good. If you're sitting at home and you're wondering why they didn't review that, know that they review everything. They just don't stop the game for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was
that's a catch.
Yeah, and it was Roby actually in coverage. Kyler Green came in late and was trying to say that Rohrer was out of bounds, but it was, if you can throw that pass, well, if you could beat Roby for a touchdown, you've done a nice job. But it was basically almost nowhere to throw that ball. They've got Tarnation Tavern now up on the big board.
Do they?
Here.
Look at that. What a great job, ESPN.
Showing Caleb Blaha and Blake Rohrer as servers in the Pat, you should tell them about the popular spot in River Falls, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's right along the main street in River Falls, Wisconsin. Those guys met. Rohrer and Blaha met as servers, as bartenders there. Blaha got Rohrer to show him his huddle highlights. And Rohrer was at River Falls to play men's basketball, and he showed him his highlights and said, "You should come actually throw with us. Come, we throw all summer. Come throw, come catch passes." And here we are, 3 years later.
Yeah, and I mean it's a great wide receiver group, and he's the best one.
The kickoff is away, and it will be taken at the 10-yard line. Looks like it's by Roby across the 20. And Roby gets hit pretty hard at the 25, 27-yard line. And that's where the North Central offense will take back over with 4:45 to play. Well, and they're showing on ESPN right now the story that you heard about on D3Football.com 2 weeks ago.
No doubt. The national folks will do their research with D3Football.com, and I would as well when I'm a national folk. Sometimes during the day.
You've sent reporters my way. I appreciate that. 1st and 10 for North Central at its own 27-yard line. Pass quick over the middle, complete to Rummel at the 40, first down, the 45, and up to the 47-yard line, where they will move the chains right away.
And look, North Central's now going to run. I thought they were going to get into their 4-minute offense. It's a little 4.5 minutes to go, and
you're only 52 yards to go, right?
Yeah. But, going back to that River Falls touchdown drive, all set up by that defense finally getting a stop, holding. North Central had the ball and a 14-3 lead. That defense gets off the field. That offense is bound to score eventually. Finally puts a drive together.
1st and 10 for North Central at its own 48. Coming up at the half, Hunter Sims, athletic director of Mary Hardin Baylor and former Division III head football coach, will be breaking the first half down with Greg Thomas, and this was an end around for Thomas Skokna that did not develop, like a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I like that call though. They've been getting good blocks up front most of the day. It does feel like the River Falls defensive line is playing a little better in the second quarter than it was in the first. And they're not just shooting gaps. Sometimes they're riding the blocks down the line. They're just holding up better at the point of attack.
McNeil in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Garrett Wilson on 2nd down and 10. 3-step drop, looking over the middle, little drag, and the route is passes complete to Skokna. Skokna coming all the way across the field and gets out of bounds. Should be out at the 45. They're going to give him the 44-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 2.
One of those classic 50-yard, 8-yard plays.
Right, all the way across the field. That's the quickest drag I've ever seen, actually.
Well, that is really Skokna's specialty, and Wilson excels at throwing to receivers on the move. So North Central loves to work that underneath that they can, and they're probably going to get a lot of looks there because River Falls is not going to want to give up a big play before the half. Although River Falls has been in single high a bunch.
You'll have to tell us more about what that means on 3rd down and 2 here at the 44-yard line. Give to McNeil. McNeil pushes with the pile across the chains, across the first down marker down to the 40, a gain of 4.
So single high is just when there's one safety deep in the middle of the field, and 2 high, 2 deep, 2 man. All those are when there's one safety on each hash, and each safety is generally responsible for a deep half of the field. If you have single high, or if you have one safety in the middle of the field, there's going to be a lot more room to make throws on the sidelines. But it gives the run defense an extra tackler in the box or closer to the line.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for North Central now at the 40 of River Falls. And here is a little bit of movement and a snap, and this presumably is against River Falls.
Yeah, 2 of their guys jumped, and I don't think anybody from North Central moved. I don't know if it was a hard count.
Defense, 56. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Connor McKenzie, senior defensive end out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Yeah, now that one, you were talking earlier about when you get your number called. It's even worse when you weren't the only guy who did it, right? Clefstad,
and they choose to call you.
Yeah, Clefstad also jumped, but McKenzie jumped more, apparently.
Reset game clock to 2 minutes.
2-minute timeout. We'll be back in just a moment here at Stagg Bowl 52.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Some technical issues. There we go. Sending it downstairs for Seth Howard.
Yeah, Pat, kind of the interesting deal so far with this game is the penalties. We've seen 3 or 4 calls get upheld and overturned, but, Coach Walker, he was livid on the sideline after a couple of those pass interference calls. But, yeah, after being in the end zone for that Blake Rohr touchdown, you can certainly start to feel some of the momentum be sucked out of, North Central and kind of restored life here on the River Falls bench.
All right. Thanks a lot, Seth.
Yeah, I'd argue that the penalty that wasn't called or that was taken away because the ball was tipped as it came out of Wilson's hand by Nussbaum. I think that was the non-penalty actually was maybe the biggest call so far of the game. Has been a pretty clean game. Not very many penalty calls overall.
It'll be 1st down and 5 here for the Cardinals. Here is a handoff on a 1st down. That is to Williams. Williams gets across the line of scrimmage and gets close to the 1st down marker. Pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and as much as that touchdown gave River Falls some momentum, there's a huge opportunity before the half for North Central to reestablish its momentum or put itself back in control of this game. River Falls, well, I was going to say they're not in field goal range yet, but North Central is a pretty good kicker.
North Central is, yeah.
Yeah, so even a field goal for North Central going into the half would be pretty good for them.
Here's second down and short. Tight end to the left. Here is the give, and going straight through the middle is Donovan McNeil. Actually, he is stopped at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be third and short.
North Central won the toss and took the ball, so River Falls will get it first in the third quarter. We're in the second half, so all the more important for North Central to hold the ball to the end of this quarter and give itself a scoring opportunity.
They're doing a good job of it. It's under a minute to go. North Central has 2 timeouts left. If they get through this and decide that they want to use them, then to try to get 7 instead of 3. Wilson repossessions McNeil to his left here on third down and 1. Gets the first down. McNeil on the carry across the 25 down to the 22. So the clock will stop as they move the chains with 39 seconds.
Nussbaum with the I don't want to say game-saving ankle tackle, but definitely a touchdown-saving ankle tackle. McNeil had shot through the middle there, and if he gets free from Nussbaum's grasp, he was going to score with seconds to go before the half.
Ball now at the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for North Central. Wilson looking to throw, looking near side. Pass is complete to Donovan McNeil out of the backfield. Pickup of 2 brings it down to the 20.
And McNeil almost didn't get out of bounds. Gage Tim hit him. And luckily, the force of Tim's hit, I think, pushed McNeil out of bounds.
North Central, their second of that.
19 seconds left. North Central's going to have 1 timeout, so they're going to have an opportunity to run either 1 running play or probably 2 to 3 pass plays. It's second down, so they could run 2 pass plays and have a field goal attempt on 4th down with 19 seconds. It usually takes 6 seconds or so to run a quick play.
Remember the end of the first half of last year's Stagg Bowl, Keith? As I started to say that, I could see your moment of recognition when you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was huge last year. Mount Union had 12 seconds left, and
21 seconds, 2-1.
I tried to run 1 more play, did not score a touchdown, and then couldn't run the field goal unit on in time. Usually you can do that in about 12 to 14 seconds. Obviously, teams practice it all the time. It's one of the big staples of the Friday special teams walkthrough.
Right.
Because you don't need pads on to do that one. And so that was a big turning point because North Central didn't really take control of that game last season in Houston until the 4th quarter. Big Charles Coleman touchdown run up the middle. Huge back for North Central, who spelled Allen at times last year.
So 2nd down and 9 with the ball at the 21-yard line. Fakes the give. Wilson looking to throw. Has a Roby downfield, but instead dumps it off to Ashiru at the 15, and he's out of bounds at the 10 with the first down. Bunch of numbers. You got your 2, you got your 3. These are not numbers you see on the offensive side.
Well, and I only know this because it came up once earlier, but 2 on the offense is Miles Walton, and 2 on defense is Ramarion Roby.
Greg notices that's the first 2 receptions for Ashiru all season here in this game.
Again, he came in as a quarterback. They used him in some packages to mix things up. He ran the ball a lot more earlier in the season than he does now, but they found a way to get him involved in the Stagg Bowl.
1st and 10 at the 11 with 15 seconds to go. 1 timeout left here in the half for North Central. Wilson looking to throw now, being shaken out of the pocket. He's going to run it. He's going to try to get out of bounds, and he does get flung out of bounds at the 11-yard line for a very, very short gain by Gage Tim, and there's 8 seconds left.
Yeah, the first down on the previous play gave North Central the opportunity to run 1 more play here. They're still sitting on 1 timeout, 8 seconds. You can usually run a pass play in 5 to 6 seconds. So if they run quick outs or they take a shot in the end zone, they should still have a second or 2 to set up a field goal attempt. Got Rummel and Skokna on the same side with McAtee here, so.
And they're all out to the left-hand side. Jalen Johnson on this side, and looks like River Falls is going to take a timeout here. They had all 3 to.
Yeah, you can't take them with you into halftime. You can if you want, but they don't do you any good there.
They tend to expire.
Yeah, so smart move by Jake Wissing to get that timeout and take a look at what North Central had lined up. They did have 3 receivers to the far side, and then Jalen Johnson, the 6'5", 210 senior, all alone here on the side closer to us, closer to the North Central side. So you get him in single coverage. You may throw a ball up into the end zone. And River Falls is going to prepare for that now.
I'm just going back to Ashiru and Roby, both lined up as wideouts on a play here on this possession. We're hearing from North Central folks that there's stuff in the playbook for Ashiru this week. Just did not consider that it might be stuff where he was not actually receiving the snap.
Yeah, the fact that he's lined up as a running back has been really interesting. Now we should talk about field goal range here
I'm realizing right now, I'm sorry, that's almost certainly Miles Walton and not Ramari and Roby, but I see a 3 and I don't expect, and then I see a 2 and I go in a different direction.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it to you again. I thought we'd just let it slide, talk about it at halftime. But
appreciate you.
Aiden Ellison well within his field goal range.
2nd and 12 from the 14. 8 seconds left. One more timeout for North Central if they need it. Wilson looking to throw, looking in the end zone. It's picked off, intercepted by River Falls. River Falls going to run it out. Coming back the other way with it, and Susner is knocked down at the 9-yard line. I suppose, frankly, it's the last play of the half. You may as well try to do something with it. Taylor Susner's had multiple interception games here in the postseason, and a big pick in the end zone right there.
And huge for River Falls momentum to not let North Central get any points. Remember, North Central gets the ball. River Falls gets the ball first in the third quarter. You had to get points there for North Central. Just an ill-advised throw. Great play by Susner to drop into coverage to get underneath McAtee.
Second takeaway of the day for UW River Falls. They lead Division III in takeaways. They're 39th of the season and their 29th interception. We'll be back in just a minute. It's a 20-minute halftime. We'll be back in just a moment here on Stagg Bowl 52.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's 800 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over a decade. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're at d3hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
And we are back at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here in Canton, Ohio. At the half, North Central leads River Falls by a score of 14-10. I'm Greg Thomas. I'm being joined at halftime by the athletics director at University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, Hunter Sims. Hunter, welcome to halftime at the Stagg Bowl.
Hey, great to be on here, and thank you for the invite.
Hunter, we had a pretty exciting first half, fireworks right off the bat, and then the teams kind of settled in. Your thoughts on first half?
Yeah, the thing that just jumps off the page, right away immediately are two fumble and interceptions, 2 turnovers inside the red zone. So one team would look at that as 2 turnovers inside the red zone, and another team would look at it as 2 takeaways inside the red zone. And so if you score there, get points at all, it's probably a much different feeling of the first half. But North Central's probably controlled the ball a little bit more consistently on offense. When you look at some things like 5 of 6 on third down, maybe even that's increased as I was making my way up to the booth here. But seeing that and knowing that they're able to keep a few more efficient drives together. River Falls done a great job of grinding it out, making sure that, they got in the end zone, being able to finish off a drive, that touchdown drive that they had is what they really like to be as an offense and what it could see. And with their style of play and the way that they play offense, they're always going to be in the game. They can score quickly and strike, but my personal feeling is I think if they really want to stay in this game, they're going to have to find a way to run the ball a little bit more efficiently. Caleb's done a great job of making some plays and extending it in the run game with his legs, but being able to line up and run the ball a little bit. And we got us a great Stagg Bowl. Yeah, those 2 takeaways, really big. River Falls, they lead the nation in takeaways. Their defense does this. They force turnovers. 2 in the red zone today, like you were saying, Hunter, really changes the complexion of the game. The one first mishandled handoff by North Central that River Falls gets on top of. They were about to go down 14 points early in the game. And then here at the last play of the half to maintain a 10-14 deficit. And coming out of the half, River Falls will get the ball. So they're going to take possession with a chance to get the lead in a game that they've really kind of been on the back foot a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like you said, those 2 red zone turnovers, but 2 red zone takeaways keep you in the game. That they do. North Central, I think their game plan was to sort of keep River Falls offense on the sideline. Watching this one, they've done a really good job controlling the ball for over 21 minutes in the first half. River Falls just 8 minutes and 45 seconds of possession time. Time of possession doesn't really matter a whole lot for River Falls. They're okay with that. I think they're more concerned about the number of snaps that they're running so far. Just where is it? Just 26 plays in the first half for River Falls compared to 40 for North Central. Those River Falls likes to have that reversed a little bit. Yeah, absolutely they do. And, then you can start getting in the weeds on some stats, seeing some things like 2 for 5 on third down. Why is that a big stat? It's because it's going along exactly with what you're saying that, hey, they've only had 5, third downs to even come up with, which can be misleading a little bit. If they're scoring the ball on first or second down, but only converting 2 of 5. But then you go down the stat sheet and you see that they're 2 for 2 in red zone chances. So as long as you're scoring in the red zone, you're always going to give yourself a chance. And you see that North Central is 1 of 3 in the red zone, which would make this game feel, a lot different. Yeah, we talked to coaches at River Falls throughout the week leading up to the game, and what they like is possessions. The more possessions they get, the better they feel. Not last week, but in the semifinal game against Johns Hopkins, they had 17 possessions in that game. Just 4 first half possessions. They only touched the ball 4 times. Yeah, it's really unbelievable. And then, like you said, that being the game plan of maybe what it was filled for them to be able to do that. They haven't played that style much all year long with how they've been able to get up on top of teams and those kind of things. But it'll be really interesting with them getting the ball back in the second half to start it out with because, even talking with some of the people at River Falls, I think they were a little excited tonight because I think it was going to be the warmest game they've played in the playoffs.
Yeah, both of these teams have been through every kind of condition you can imagine throughout the last month or so of the playoffs. River Falls, they've got to be ecstatic. I mean, they're not going to be ecstatic with 10 points in the first half. That's not their style, but the difference on the scoreboard is just 4 points, and they haven't touched the ball a lot. They scored on 2 of their 4 possessions, so they're scoring with efficiency. They're just not touching the ball. They're going to get a chance to come out in the third quarter, and as we saw them do against Johns Hopkins with a big third quarter, they can take a lead and maybe do some damage in the third quarter when they start with the ball.
Yeah, they're always going to be able to do something with their quarterback Caleb if he's able to be mobile and he's able to play his style of game. That there might have been some concerns about coming into the game, but with a little bit of time off, bouncing back, I think they feel really good about their chances. But obviously, North Central's no stranger to this either, with what their history is with 6 times being in this position and trying to go back to back. So I think there's going to be a lot of comfort on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be whichever team can out-tough the other one. Right now and early on, it seemed that North Central might have looked and felt a little bit more skilled, and River Falls was just playing a little tougher and a little grittier.
A little bit, and North Central I don't think could have scripted their first half better, minus the 2 takeaways, of course, but with the way they're possessing the ball, controlling the ball, the big question mark I think for me coming into this game is, would River Falls tempo be able to wear out that really strong front 4 from North Central? And North Central got through the first half only having to play 26 snaps on defense. They got to feel like they can go the distance in the second half, having sort of managed snaps in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. When you look at that Cardinals defensive line, number 92, J.P. Sullivan, he's a tremendous player and gets a lot of love. But, 43, Bobby, he is probably one of the unsung heroes of that group, just always rushing, usually, if you watch some of the film, into a 3-man surface, some things like that, and probably doesn't have as much stats as one might think for how he impacts the game specifically. But, just kind of going along with what you're saying, it's, you would hope that these guys would be a little bit more conditioned than to be, with 26 plays under their belt. And so, they're probably going to have to strike fast and hard as just opposed to wearing them down over time.
You're going to look through some more of the stats in the first half. Hunter, North Central, extraordinarily balanced, 116 rush yards in the first half to 124 pass yards in the first half. River Falls, 145 pass yards to just 44 rush yards. Caleb Blaha, he has been 12 of 18 in the first half. When he's been in rhythm, he's been very good. 145 yards for Caleb and 1 touchdown. Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, 11 for 14. Highly efficient, but he did have the 1 interception at the end of the half for River Falls. Both quarterbacks playing really well.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I said a minute ago with River Falls. They've only got 12 yards rushing outside of their quarterback. So when you're just talking about designed runs, obviously they've got a few designed runs with Caleb as well, but somebody else, they're really going to need to run the ball as opposed to, you see North Central with it being pretty spread out. And like you said, just ultra balanced on that. And I think they're playing their game plan the way that they want to play.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the receiving core from River Falls coming into this game. A bunch of all those guys are 6'3" to 6'5". They're huge. Blake Rohrer, he was the hero in the semifinal with the big 79-yard touchdown to win that game. Just 1 catch in the first half. That was a 13-yard touchdown. He had been frustrated a little bit in the first half before he got that reception, got called for an offensive pass interference, was having some trouble getting open, matched up with Mari Roby quite a bit. Maybe that touchdown catch toward the end of the half will get him going in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. You just like to have something like that to get you going a little bit, and you got to be able to spread out the offense. And when you have this style of play, being able to do that, as well. Jake as well, Hilton, just getting in there, making a few plays. And so I think there's a lot that the coaches are going to look on this stat sheet and think, hey, we need to do this, we can get this guy some touches, we feel good. I think both teams feel good where they're at. The game does feel like a one-score game between the two. It actually feels a little bit to me like a higher scoring game of what it rather than 24 total points. But again, I think both of these teams are comfortable in this situation.
On the North Central side of the ball, Thomas Skokna, he's their Gallardi semifinalist. He's been quiet the last couple of games in the playoffs. He's got 3 catches early for 40 yards, 22 yards after contact. That's something that River Falls defensive coaches talked to us about. Something they were concerned about is North Central's ability to get yards after the catch, and North Central's done a really good job of getting their guys the ball in space with opportunity to run.
Yeah, for sure. A guy I like to highlight a little bit is the left tackle for North Central, number 54, Tyson Kramer. He's played really well. Not something that's really going to show up, unless you're really looking for it. But they've been able to really be consistent on that left side, whether they're, running some inside zone or divide zone. And he's been able to wash that down. You saw that really come out on that touchdown at the early part of the game. But he's really playing a really good game. I know on the other side of him, 52 Jones gets a lot of attention, but Tyson's playing really good, the left tackle for North Central early.
Yeah, I think the strengths of both teams have really shown up in the first half. North Central's offensive line, of course, they're doing a really great job of establishing the run, keeping things moving along, possessing the ball, which is, of course, what they want to do. And on the other side, Caleb Blaha, he's played well the few times he's had the ball. We saw Blake Rohr get into the action, and their stars on defense, Gage Tim and Taylor Susner. Those are guys who got the takeaways in the first half. The moment doesn't seem to be too big for anybody out there.
Yeah, for sure. You look at this, and this is how you want to draw up the Stagg Bowl. You want a great game. You want the fans to be excited. You want the environment to be great. It's great to see both bands out on the field. River Falls traveling really well. North Central traveled good as well, just being loud, being productive. It's just a really exciting, electric atmosphere. I'm not sure if you can hear it through the radio waves or on the internet or necessarily see it on the broadcast, but it is really an electric atmosphere out here tonight.
Yeah, Hunter, we got about 45 seconds left before we're going to tie up our bit of the halftime show. 30 seconds or less. What are you looking for here in the second half?
Man, I'm looking for this to be a great second half. Both teams go out, want both teams, both fan bases to have a great experience and just carry on the mission of Division III and what Division III stands for, and always be a great Stagg Bowl. It's a wonderful division to represent.
Absolutely. River Falls is going to get the ball to start the third quarter. We've got 30 minutes left before we settle this national championship. We're going to send it out to a break and bring it back with Patrick Coleman and Keith McMillan to set you up for the second half.
Thank you so much.
Back out here at the half, 14-10 North Central with the lead. We're going to send it downstairs to Seth Howard, who has a special guest.
Yeah, Pat, special is not even close to what we need to call this guy. This guy's an absolute legend. The man himself, two-time Gallardi Trophy winner, national champion Luke Lanin is here with us today, man. Luke, first of all, being a year removed from this squad so far, what's it like sitting up here in the stands for a Stagg Bowl here?
Yeah, surprisingly, it's a lot colder, even though usually, when you play, you only got, a short-sleeve shirt on, but at least you're moving. Back here, I'm not moving, so I'm a little cold. But it's definitely weird seeing all my friends out there playing, and I'm so used to getting to play and just not playing. It's different, but I'm enjoying to actually get to watch the whole game for sure.
So far, Garrett Wilson obviously had a couple of turnovers early. For you, what do you think needs to really, not necessarily change, but what kind of things do they need to do to carry out this momentum into the second half?
Yeah, I think our offense is looking great, minus those 2 turnovers. The one at the end there would have been great to come out with some points. Just unfortunately didn't, but just looking to keep doing what we're doing. We've been moving the ball great, been running the ball well. Donovan McNeil had a great touchdown at the beginning of the game. We've been able to move the ball in the passing game as well. So we're doing a good job. We just need to finish those drives and try to eliminate those turnovers.
You know, obviously in your career, you did a lot of running yourself. You know, Garrett, he's done quite a bit of running, you know, throughout the season, haven't necessarily used his legs early so far. Do you feel like that's something they need to get to kind of really blow this lead open a little bit?
I can see them definitely getting to that just because when you have the quarterback run, it's something else the defense has to worry about and to account for. But I think doing that can definitely help them a little bit. But like I said before, like what they're doing is working. They just need to capitalize and finish those drives out without those turnovers.
What have you seen from River Falls so far? Obviously, the first time you've obviously watched them in person, not the first time you've seen them on film, of course. But what are some of the things they can do, maybe from your perspective, try to claw back into this one?
Yeah, I think they do a great job of playing fast tempo. That's really hard for defenses to keep up with when they're just rifling off plays one after the other, and they like to take their shots. They're moving the ball great down the field that last drive, and then that interception they just got, they have some momentum coming in. They get the ball at the beginning of the second half, so they're definitely going to have some momentum, and they're going to be ready to go.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Pat, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Good to catch up with Luke Lanin there. We had, let's see, the previous best quarterback in UW River Falls history on earlier in the broadcast, and then the consensus best quarterback in the history of North Central coming out of halftime there. Keith, I think we should quickly do some halftime stats.
Sure. Let's do it.
14-10 is our score. North Central here at the end of the second quarter, going into the third quarter. A Brad Spencer head coach team has never trailed at the half, and they do not trail at the half here today. But Garrett Wilson with 2 turnovers here in the first half of action. That for the second time this season, the first time in a win earlier this year against WashU. Wilson, 11 of 14 passing for 124 yards and no touchdowns. Donovan McNeil on the ground with both of the scores, 15 carries for 79. Jordan Williams getting some love in the backfield, 5 carries for 27 as well. Jack Rummel, 4 catches for 61 yards. Skokna, 3 for 40 on the North Central side. River Falls, Blaha, 12 of 18 passing for 145 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown to Blake Rohr. It's his only catch of the game, 1 catch for 13 yards. Hilton with 3 for 67, and they've really been spreading it around. Rush with 2, Johnstone with 2, and a bunch of others with 1. Blaha, of course, the leading ball carrier, 6 carries for 32 yards. Keith, that time of possession has just been crazy. 21-15 for North Central, 8:45 for River Falls.
Yeah, and it's not so much the time of possession itself that matters because of the speed that River Falls plays at. It's that the drives are going the way North Central wants them to go. North Central wants to chew clock. They want to wear the other team down. They want to be able to sub 2 and 3 running backs in the same drive, right? And just let that offensive line lean on a defense and make a defense work. You know, I think both teams can look at these halftime stats and say things are going well. At least offensively. North Central, 40 plays, 240 yards, 26 runs for 116. I think Luke Lane was right in that halftime interview. Everything they're doing is working. They just got to eliminate those turnovers. And honestly, that Garrett Wilson pass, even though it was a bad decision, they're not throwing that pass if time isn't running out, right? They're going to run the ball in and probably try to finish that drive.
We chatted with Glenn Caruso at the half, the former St. Thomas coach, prompting all the St. John's fans to tune away from our broadcast. But his thought was, why didn't they kick the field goal?
Well, I think they were taking one shot into the end zone, and then they were going to kick it.
I mean, that's what I said, but what do I know?
With 8 seconds. With hindsight, it's easy to say. But I think generally you take a shot in the end zone, you just throw that ball high into the back of the end zone. So if you miss, it goes out of bounds, you kick the field goal. You know, throwing that kind of low where Susner could get underneath it certainly was ill-advised.
Daniel Stokes and Jalen Reed back to await the kickoff from North Central as we get started with half number 2 here in Stagg Bowl 52. And it is kicked kind of short and up in the middle and is taken on the catch on the fly up to the 30-yard line. Caught there and returned by Jared Schutz, a defensive back, a freshman out of Gordon, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know if that was on purpose by Hayden Ellison because of the way he slid after he kicked it. But pretty much what would have happened if they would have kicked that out of bounds. River Falls is going to start on the 33, and out of bounds is 35.
I think it might be 40. Is it 40 in college?
Yes, yeah.
I lose these things too. I lose them. So River Falls will start here. They're going to go right to left here across your screen in the second half. And the ball nearly tipped, but it is caught. Caught for a first down up near midfield by Austin Rush.
Well, and if Blaha is able to lead that a little more, throw it down the sideline as opposed to the sideline, that's a touchdown. Roar was running untouched.
Here's a little toss to Johnstone. The tight end gets another catch across midfield into North Central territory up to the 44-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 1. Yeah. 2nd down and 1?
Yes.
2nd down and 1.
Interesting that Johnstone has 2 catches today. Wesolowski doesn't have any.
I think Wesolowski has 1, right? And here is a give in the backfield to Trevor Asher. That's just his 2nd touch today. Gets the first down.
But again, for River Falls, things happen in bunches, and they want to get that first down and start to tire the North Central defensive line out.
Asher comes out of the backfield. He's going to line up as a slot receiver. They're going to go empty with Johnstone as a tight end. Blaha rolls to the left, looking to throw. Pass is complete to Roar. Roar across the 30, the 25, and finally gets stacked up by a couple of North Central defenders and wrapped up at the 22-yard line, a pickup of 16.
J.P. Sullivan actually tracked that play, rushed to the offside, got double-teamed, ran backward after the completed pass and made the tackle and came in, tried to swipe out there. But anyway, he's just a high-motor guy and doesn't stop when the pass is completed.
Johnstone lined up as a split end all the way out to the left. 4 receivers. Not changing any players on the field. And now Blaha is going to get dropped. And Sullivan brings him down.
And I was just thinking, the reason I noticed what J.P. Sullivan did on the play before is because I was thinking, man, he hasn't been in the backfield much. Let me watch him for a play. And I just picked one play too early, apparently, because that time he just ducked under the block and was able to get into the backfield and make a sack. It was Joe Calvin.
3rd tackle of the game, and obviously the first sack for anybody, including Sullivan. Blaha fakes to run now. He's looking to throw. No, he's going to run it himself across the 30, up to the 25, and down to the 22-yard line. So basically back to the original line of scrimmage, where it's going to bring up about 3rd down and about 10 to go.
Yeah, Blaha does that from time to time, where he'll pump fake a throw and then change his mind at the last second, tuck it and run. And it's weird because it's a deep throw. It's not like a short pump fake.
Empty backfield. He's going to take it himself once again across the 20, fighting his way forward to the 15. He's going to be very close, but short of the first down. Look like at about 4th down and 1. This has got to be a go-for-it situation, right?
Oh, they're definitely going. This is a textbook River Falls go situation.
They bring in a bunch of new receivers. Jake Hilton comes into the game. Daniel Stokes is into the game. Trevor Asher into the game. Reed goes to the sideline, so does Rohrer.
I didn't and don't see a flag, but something was on defense number 4, which is Rourke.
The defensive hold, says Greg. And a hold is an automatic first down. So now, first down and goal to go at the 6-yard line for the River Falls Falcons. Empty backfield with Blaha. Here is a end around, a double reverse, and it goes nowhere. The feed from Stokes to Reed, and Reed got wrapped by Bobby Medina.
Yeah, Medina was not fooled at all. He was waiting in the backfield for the double reverse to come to him.
Swinging gate.
Oh, yeah.
2nd down and goal from the 10. Blaha with 3 linemen and 3 people in front of him. Looking to throw, looking to the end zone, looking for Reifensberger, and it's batted away, incomplete. Roby knocks it down.
Yeah, and Nuccio was also diving for that ball. You know, rare you get a swinging gate.
It's Janiak on the coverage.
And you're still throwing into coverage.
Right.
Because the whole point of it is to spread everybody out to the sidelines and then get that middle of the field wide open.
You talked about wide splits to create space. This was not what I had in mind. Instead, it's 3rd down and goal from the 10. Couple of razzle-dazzles, 12 gadget plays in the books or whatever, 2 of them in a row. Blaha looking to throw. A throw out of the backfield to Johnstone, who hits a tackler head on, goes down at the 5, stretches it forward to the 4. The ball comes out, but it's after the end of the play.
Yeah, very clearly when he hit the ground.
We all agree.
One reason you can dial up those plays on 1st and 2nd down is if they don't work, you know you're going for it. You know you're running 4 downs. So they got half of it back on 3rd. You got 4th down from the 5.
4th and goal. Rush in motion now goes back to the left. Blaha looking to the left now. Looking over the middle, and incomplete, knocked away, batted down, a turnover on downs. Knocking it away is Braden Garrigan.
In a game where we build the offenses as the reason you want to come see. You want to watch. It's been the last 2 drives have been defensive stops, defensive backs making stops in the end zone. This one was a knockaway, and right before the half, River Falls makes a pick in the end zone, and now both teams looking like they had a chance to take control of the game. The defense is doing it instead.
North Central will get its shot next, coming up in just a minute. Here at Stagg Bowl 52, 14-10 our score. North Central in the lead with 10:49 to go in the 3rd.
And more upsets than March Madness. There's 800 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over a decade. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're at d3hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from D3Football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
Back out here in Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, Canton, Ohio, where North Central will take over now on its own 5-yard line after the pass breakup in the end zone by Garrigan. Here is the handoff on 1st down to McNeil. McNeil gets to the line of scrimmage and no further.
Yep, gang tackle.
Wrapped up by Andre Hall, along with other Falcons, and the penalty marker is out.
Yeah, it looked like Noah Nussbaum was in there as well.
Noah Nussbaum's family, very prominent in the hotel we stayed at.
52.
Yeah.
So that's Cortez Jones getting called on the hold.
Everyone in the family.
And you see big demonstrative declines coming from the River Falls sideline is what I was going to say.
Everyone in the Nussbaum family wearing the 46 in the hotel.
So many 46s.
And 46 is kind of comically one of those numbers that you give to like the last guy on the roster. So for it to be one of their star defenders is pretty cool.
So having declined the penalty, be 2nd down and 9. You also try to get them off the field faster here, right? You don't want to let them run another 40 seconds of clock. And here is McNeil rolling off of tackles. Boy, 1st, 2nd guys all miss, and it is a 1st down for North Central.
I think that may end up being a huge 1st down for North Central just to get out of there's no shadows at this time of night, but to be backed up from
It's okay. The end zone doesn't cast a shadow anyway. It's a two-dimensional object.
It's a shadow of your own goalpost is the correct way to say it. Though,
Oh,
right?
I know. I've just heard so many people say shadow of your own goal line that I've just accustomed to people doing it wrong.
I think you're the one that taught me that, to be honest with you.
It's a two-dimensional thing. It's a line, literally. And McMillan on 1st and 10 gets about a yard.
I can't unhear it. But anyway, that run, and I think this series for both sides, but especially for North Central, even if they just get a few first downs and punt, it just to not be backed up and to give River Falls the ball right back at midfield, I think is big for them.
Well, McMillan averaging somewhere in the area of about 8.5 yards a carry. You stop him once, and then you get him for 1 the first time, and then it's for 15.
Yeah.
Get him for 2, and we'll see what happens here on 2nd down and 8. 9:17 and counting here in the 3rd. And here is the give instead to Jordan Williams. And Williams gets off a tackler and then gets out of bounds, gets nudged out of bounds after a gain of about 10 on 2nd down and moves the chains.
And he almost turned the corner on that one. And look, Williams, again, he's the third third leading carrier, I guess, out of the backfield. But they're all built the same way. All these guys are 5'11", 5'9", 200-something. So they're all bowling balls. And if you're coming up from the defensive backfield, you don't want to take that guy on. And there's sometimes not even a whole lot to get down. You're supposed to go low on those big guys. There's not a whole lot of low to get down and hit.
1st down and 10 at the 29. Williams out of the backfield in motion. And here's a drag, and that's complete to McAtee. McAtee across the 35, down the 40. Another 1st down conversion. You don't need 3rd down conversions when you convert on 1st.
That's true. Hey, I think McAtee's been a bit of a revelation today. Just 33 catches on the season, 367 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rummel and Skokna are the known guys and then the senior wide receivers. But I think McAtee's had a big impact. Big body. They line him up everywhere. And good 1st down for North Central right there.
1st down is at their own 40-yard line, 8:06 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 14-10 our score. North Central with the lead and the football as they had for 70% of the first half. Here is a quick out pass complete to Walton. And Walton out of bounds at the 43, pickup of 3, 2nd and 7.
What a big drive this is for North Central. Again, regardless of whether they scored, River Falls picks the ball off in the end zone right before halftime. So they carry all this momentum in halftime. They get the ball. They drive it all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And it seems like River Falls has all the momentum, is getting ready to take the lead. North Central obviously makes the pass breakup in the end zone. But if they go 3 and out there and punt it right back to River Falls, I feel like River Falls still has the momentum. And North Central's doing a great job of controlling the pace of a game against a team that likes to control the pace.
Wilson rolling out to the left now, looking to throw back. Not finding anything there. He's going to run it himself. There's a penalty marker, comes out. Everybody on the River Falls sideline was looking for a penalty, and it looks like they're going to get it. Enough for the 1st down. Not enough for the 1st down, even if it were to stand.
Yeah, and I think it's Tyson Kramer, the left tackle, and the 3rd tight end, Dawson Tribolo, caught holding.
And again, they only call one number, but you get the picture. And once, stuff starts moving over to the other side, right? Guys get caught a little out of position. They're the H-back, who you identified, Dawson Traybold. Looks like he had his arms in there.
He grabbed the jersey. It was pretty. They just showed it on the big board here at Hall of Fame Stadium. Pretty evident hold there. And it's one of those ones where you're expecting the quarterback to let it go, and then so the defensive lineman's not moving. Then all of a sudden he moves again, and you're like, I got to start blocking again, and it's too late. And so you grab some jersey.
2nd and 17, ball back at the 33-yard line. Here's a little shovel pass complete to McAtee, but he goes essentially nowhere. It's going to be 3rd down and about 16, maybe 15 yards.
Again, a lot of McAtee in this game, and I like it for North Central. I think they're getting good use out of him. He's a 6'5", well over 200-pound sophomore, and again, wide receiver, tight end, H-back, all the above. Lining up mostly a wide receiver today, but in the slot.
So 3rd down and long.
Kind of weird. Their big guy is the slot, and the 2 small guys are the outside receivers.
At their own 35-yard line. Wilson looking to throw, getting chased out of the pocket, and he's going to get brought down in the pocket. Sacked, first hit, And then second hit, of course, right there, gauged him to finish it off.
Yeah,
Brady Block was first.
It was Brady Block who got to him and kind of slid off his shoulder pads, but obviously slowed things down enough for Gage Tim to come finish him off. Big sack for River Falls. They're going to get the ball back. I was going to say around midfield, but you never know. Punter sometimes unleashes one and gets no return. Jaden Reed is lined up, though. He's just outside the Stagg Bowl logo at center field.
They have had the ball for about 5 minutes and 19 seconds on this drive. And Reed's going to take it at the 39 and then tries to cut and slips and will be out of bounds at about the 41. And that's where the River Falls offense will set up shop. 5:23 to go here in the third. Refresh that River Falls starting offense for you after we come back from break. Late in the third quarter, 14-10 our score here in Stagg Bowl 52. Back out here in Canton, Ohio. I almost said Las Vegas, Nevada. I said that so many times last week, calling the D3Hoops.com Classic. And it's been ingrained in my brain. This is nothing like Las Vegas. It is cold. It is football. And it's been not a defensive slugfest or a bend and not break game.
I think that's a good way to describe it. A lot of bending, but not a lot of breaking, especially in the last couple of drives. Look, the defenses are tightening up. This is time of the year where everything you got in your bag, everything you haven't used, everything you haven't needed to use because you dominate teams, you're pulling it out now, so you're not showing necessarily the same coverages, the same pressures that you show on the same down and distance throughout the season. And these two teams don't know each other well. One of the things that, happens in the WIAC or in the CCIW, you play the same teams over and over again, and they have had the same coordinators for years and years. You kind of know what they like to do and what they're trying to accomplish, and then you can figure out how to counteract it. These guys, they've had 15 days to look at each other, but they're also figuring each other out on the fly. And frankly, 20 minutes to greatness for one or both of these teams. I mean, the season's over either way, right? 5:23 left in the third. Season's over either way. One of these teams is going to be remembered as a champion. One of these teams is going to be remembered for coming up just short. It's 14-10. Whatever you got, 20 minutes, everything the coaches got in their bags, everything the players got, dial it up now. A lot of game left, but also 20 minutes left in the season.
River Falls with the football at their own 41-yard line. Blaha throws to Asher out of the backfield, across the 45 to the 50, gets the first down, and then is brought down by a pair of tacklers in Kyler Green and Matthew Janiak, but moves the chains.
Well, again, this drive is going to test the theory. Is River Falls okay moving the ball, death by 1,000 cuts? North Central is consistently dropping 7 in coverage, rushing 4.
Yeah, I think until that changes, they'll probably keep trying to do so. And here is another give to Asher. This time he's stopped after a short gain.
And I think that means the run game is part of it. And that was a give to Asher right there. But I think as you get down to the crunch time moments or maybe big downs, you dial up runs for Blaha, right? We haven't seen it except for a couple times to start a drive. We haven't seen it much.
Yeah, I thought it was really effective the couple times they did it in the second quarter. And then it opened things up. Here's Blaha to throw. Complete to Rush. First down. at the 35-yard line. That'll move the chains once again.
Well, no sooner did we say it than they had an RPO on there. So Blaha had a run-pass option there. He tucked it like he wanted to run, and then he saw a rush coming open. And so much of this River Falls offense is determined on the fly and to give Blaha options to run or pass.
Asher ran out of the backfield in motion and then looking like they're getting a new play call from the sidelines. By the way, 3 different play callers throwing in signals from the sidelines. Here is a quick out to Asher. Asher complete the 40, 35, spins off a tackler to the 30. Big pickup on first down, gain of 7.
And River Falls being happy, being patient and methodical. In a very different way than North Central is patient and methodical, but getting yards in bunches, crunch chunks. I think I was saying crunches.
Empty backfield.
Crunches,
fakes the shovel pass. Now he keeps it himself to the 25, to the 20. First down, slides. And he's going to be downed at the 15-yard line on the slide, but another big gain of 14 yards.
That looked fun. I kind of want to go down there and do one of those slides.
Hopefully it's not as hard as it was when we were stepping on it, right?
Yeah, if I do it, I won't get up.
There you go. Here's the give to Asher. Asher across the 10 and stacked up at the 7-yard line where he is brought down by Garrigan. But another big gain on first down.
Here we are again. River Falls inside the 10, looking a chance to take a lead. They had it once before. They went 4 downs and out.
Backfield empty again, 2nd and 1. Blaha straight up the middle. First down, 5-1, touchdown. And listen to half of the town of River Falls, Wisconsin, practically on the far sidelines, getting up for this.
Well, it's pretty cool when your program that's been the downtrodden program, sort of the bottom of the WIAC for so many years, most of the early 2000s, and then finally starts to get good and got good fast.
And with that touchdown run, Caleb Blaha passed Joe Burrow for the single-season record of all divisions of all time in total offense. And the extra point is good. Caleb Blaha writing his name at the top of the record books and puts his team on top. We'll be back in just a minute here on Stagg Bowl 52.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's 800 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over a decade. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're at d3hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Pat Coleman from d3football.com. To get the latest news and opinions in Division III football, don't forget to subscribe to and download the d3football.com Around the Nation podcast. We've been around since 2007, and with more than 350 episodes, our podcast isn't going anywhere. New episodes drop on Monday morning during the season and every month during the offseason as Greg Thomas and I run down the key stories from across Division III, chat with newsmakers, and bring you the latest news, not the hype or the latest so-called controversy. Find the d3football.com Around the Nation podcast on your podcatcher of choice.
Back out here in Canton, Ohio, 2:51 to go in the third. And for the first time today, River Falls has taken the lead. They lead 17-14 here in Stagg Bowl 52.
They've done such a nice job of absorbing the blows, absorbing the punches from North Central. And look, the last couple drives, North Central's moving the ball. River Falls generates a turnover. River Falls comes up with some big stops, gets that ball back to their offense. Their whole philosophy is the more times we put the ball in our offense's hands, and this is the Top Gun offense, as imagined with a quarterback that can make things happen. The more times we get that ball in Caleb Blaha's hands, the better things are going to go for us. And the defense has done a nice job of limiting North Central and getting the ball back to that offense. So now we got a game.
7 plays, 59 yards, 3 of 3 passing for 29 yards on that drive for Blaha. And the kickoff is taken by Roby at the 15, cutting to the left, up to the 30, make it the 31-yard line. And that's where North Central will start. Refresh the North Central offense across the front. Tyson Kramer, Brock Nunez, Jared Durian, Johnny Golden, and Cortez Jones. Isaac Banker, the tight end. The wide receivers, Thomas Skokna, Jack Rummel, Grant McAtee, Garrett Wilson, the quarterback. A lot of Donovan McNeil out of the backfield, and that is what we're seeing here to start this possession.
You know, for North Central, as good as you can feel about your team trailing in a game, that's probably how North Central feels, moving the ball all day.
Here's Wilson on a draw. He takes it up the middle. He gets kind of tripped up in the backfield, stumbles forward up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 8.
I mean, I think if you want to rationalize how this North Central offense is playing, it's just finish drives.
Yeah.
So those 2 turnovers in the red zone, huge. They had an opportunity to go up 14-3. They had an opportunity to take a bigger lead into the half and weren't able to do either of those things. River Falls capitalized, finally got its offense enough chances with the ball, and now that River Falls is in the lead.
2nd down and 2, play clock at 10, takes the snap. Quick out to Skokna. Skokna waits for stuff to open up, gets the first down across the 45. And then finally, it needs 3 guys to wrap him up. Andre Hall in there, Gage Tim. And I think the 3rd guy was John Klefstad, the nose tackle.
Yeah, Skokna just 5'9", 170. You know, the kind of guy, when he's walking with the football players, you don't even know he's on the team.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best guys out there, showing a ton of heart on that one. Right, could have been a 2-yard completion and just falling down, but battling through for some extra yards.
He's split out wide to the left, Rummel wide to the right, double tight end here on 1st and 10. And here's the give to McNeil. McNeil across the middle. McNeil still on his feet, first down into River Falls territory and down to the 43.
Brad Spencer mentioned Donovan McNeil and Ethan Greenfield in the same breath.
Yeah.
Earlier this week when we were talking to him, and you see shades of it right there. They're definitely not built the same. Not that McNeil's a small guy, but the way they run, right? The way they punish people at the end of the run. I believe there's a stat here on the sheet, too, that McNeil has only lost 4 yards this year. He doesn't go backwards. He's always going forwards, and in that play, he ran a couple of Falcons over.
The 1st and 10 at the Falcon 43. Here is the give to Williams in the backfield after that hard run by McNeil. And Williams gets stacked up for no gain. It'll be 2nd down.
Hey, noticing that it's been a lot of Jordan Williams getting the carries after McNeil goes out and not Sean Allen today. And we haven't seen Rashid at all.
It's like a change of pace back, right? I feel like Allen and McNeil may be too similar, and you want to see someone with a slightly different style.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Allen is dealing with, he's banged up in some way, because I don't. Usually you see those guys that sub in, they're usually standing next to the offensive coordinator on the sideline, and I don't see him anywhere. Although a couple of the guys do have North Central jackets on, so it could be that as well.
2nd and 10. Here is the give to Williams, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Coming through and making the stop. Cody Curtis, the guy we talked about, coming back from surgery. That's the last play of the 3rd quarter.
He's got the biggest brace I've ever seen on his left leg.
We just had his an ankle tendon reattached last Monday.
And they say, man, pain is temporary, pride is forever. That is a huge play for River Falls. And if you're going to dial it up and if you're going to tape it up and go, get the surgery and go, you do it for the national championship game, right? These guys are going to be potentially legends in the city of River Falls.
Wow. It's certainly a possibility as we go to quarter number 4. Let's check in downstairs with the 3rd man on our broadcast crew, Seth Howard.
Yeah, Pat, you guys were just talking about Donovan McNeil down there. He actually hurt his hand, it appears, coming out at halftime. He's got his hand all wrapped up, and that's probably why he wasn't in there on that last drive. So, yeah, something to watch for. He probably won't be as effective in the pass game, but, yeah, something to watch for, guys.
All right, thanks for the report. This is why you have a sideline guy to get you information like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought I teed Seth up for a River Falls
right,
Cody Curtis moment, but I think that was the information that we needed, right? Donovan McNeil banged up his hand, and North Central can go again 4 backs deep. So McNeil's the best one,
yeah,
and he's the hardest runner, and they're going to want him in here in this fourth quarter, right? 17-14, but they got other guys if they need them. I think the interesting thing is North Central. The pass game has sort of been limited, and I think part of that is just probably being dictated to them by what defensive looks they're getting. They feel they can run against it. They're doing a fine job doing it.
I mean, also, you run the risk. You eliminate the risk of an incomplete pass if you don't throw it. Woody Hayes style. That Woody Hayes reference is probably older than many, many of our listeners. So Woody Hayes, I'm going to over-explain this for the older folks. Woody Hayes, longtime coach, of course, at Ohio State University, and hated to pass the ball. 3 things can happen when you pass the ball, and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah, you can sack, interception, incompletion. I think it's 4 things can happen. 3 are bad. We are in Woody Hayes territory here in Canton, Ohio. Although we have a team from Illinois, a team from Wisconsin, and a 3-point gap separating them going into a fourth quarter, which one of these teams will be etched in school history forever. I guess they'll both be historic, but one will be the champion.
So North Central came into this weekend having trailed for just 15 minutes and 26 seconds all season. Right now they trail here as we go into quarter number 4. That's the first time in any Brad Spencer head coach game that they've trailed after 3 quarters. And this is the latest in a game that they have trailed this season. Just the 3rd time overall. Did I get all of those notes in? Thank you to Alex in the North Central Sports Information Office for pumping us with stats tonight.
Well, there's one more place we can go if we're digging into history. North Central, this is the first time North Central's been to a Stagg Bowl in a place they've played it previously.
Right.
There's 6 Stagg Bowls, have been in 5 locations. Last time in Canton, they went in halftime feeling pretty good, and Mary Hardin Baylor blew them out in the second half. This time, they went in halftime feeling pretty good.
There's Wilson on 3rd and 11. He's getting chased out. Now he's rolling back the other way, getting pursued by Graham White, and he runs out of bounds into the River Falls bench, takes a seat on the bench after that big long run and gets a couple yards out of it.
Yeah, Trent Cherry was coming on a corner blitz, and he had him lined up, but part of the reason those corners, you don't run that corner blitz a lot is those guys don't get a lot of practice at blitzing, and they're not that good at breaking down and running through the target. So that time Trent Cherry ran past, and Garrett Wilson, not a statue back there by any means, but also not known for his elusiveness, made a play, although North Central's still going to end up punting.
Chip Dose, the Whitewater transfer, on to punt, averaging 37.4 yards a punt this season. This is a directional kick and a fair catch waved for and taken by River Falls and Jalen Reed. So they will start at their own 11-yard line with 14:19 to play. River Falls won't slow it down. You don't slow it down up 3 with 14 minutes to play, but they wouldn't anyway.
No, and I mean, they're not only have this dance with who brung you attitude, they are who they are, but yeah, they have to keep the pressure on here. And they I don't think you change who you are or what you do, except for if they get up real big, maybe they'll try to run the ball a little more. But even if they run it, it's going to be some Blaha runs mixed in there.
Jalen Reed is in the backfield. There's 3 receivers. Throwing out to the left side is Blaha on first down. He makes a tackle or miss. First down across the 25 and up to the 30-yard line. A big catch on first down, and that is Jake Hilton.
Strangely, I could tell that was going to be dangerous when the pass came out of his hand. It's just a quick hitter, right? And Jamar Daniel has to break down and tackle, but it's on that corner of the field where everybody's been sliding around. 1st and
10 at the 29. Here is the pass complete to Johnstone, the tight end, across the 35 up to the 37. Johnstone, we talked about it already, a big 6'5", 250-pound junior out of North Branch, Minnesota. That's probably about an hour north of the Twin Cities, about 90 miles from River Falls. He came in with 17 catches on the season for 153 yards, and he's had a pretty big night. 2nd down and 2. Blaha on the keeper, spins off a tackler, gets across the 40, first down, and up to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 5 on 3rd and 2.
And Pat, another thing that's pretty big is this River Falls offensive line. And as much as we talked about North Central's desire to wear down another team, River Falls is going to wear people down at the pace they run if the defense can't substitute its defensive line, which North Central hasn't been able to do this series.
Blaha slips a little bit, but regains his footing, and this decides to throw it away. It was still well catchable by Jalen Reed, just in case anybody is worried about whether it could be intentionally grounding.
Huge set of downs here. I mean, they're all huge, obviously, from here on out. 13 minutes to go, 17-14 ball game.
I'm disappointed in the field. We shouldn't be having slippage like this on a field that the NFL plays on once a year.
Well, it also
August,
hasn't snowed in Canton since Thursday?
Yeah. Looking to throw. Pass complete. First down for Blake Rohrer across the 45 down to the 42. The chains move. 12:56 and counting remaining in the fourth. River Falls up 17-14 with the ball.
Yeah, and it was 26 degrees at kickoff, or -3 Celsius. And those there are two corners of the field which are frozen, and slippage has been an issue just inside the 20s on the River Falls side.
5 receivers set here. Running up the middle is Blaha, wide open at 45, or the 35, excuse me. Slides down with 11 yards on 1st and 10.
All right, and this is now when a defense is getting tired. Look, you see hands on J.P. Sullivan hips.
And you don't swap anybody now.
Hands on hips, Eli Rennick.
That's right, Eli Rennick, the transfer from Wittenberg. They like to swap in 3 defensive ends. They cannot do that here. Here's a pass that is complete to Rush out on the sidelines. Rush gets it up to the 29-yard line again.
Again, defensive linemen walking back to their positions while the North Central linebackers, DBs, sprinting back to the middle of the field to get in position.
Getting the ball back to the umpire, right? 2nd down and 6. Blaha on a slant route. Pass complete to Jalen Reed. Jalen Reed, normally a running back, a transfer from Tarleton State, effective in the slot. You line them up where you need to because these are the 11 that they're running with. Blaha now 1st and 10.
Yeah, River Falls has the North Central defense exactly where they want them, but North Central still just trying to keep everything in front.
At the North Central 18-yard line, and the pass is batted down, incomplete, and that stops the clock with 11:36 to go.
And look, if we've learned nothing from this game, by the way, North Central really appreciating that stoppage, but not substituting anybody, right? They're living with their best defensive guys.
It's a long way for Rennick to come off the field. He's on the other side.
Yeah, if we've learned anything, it's that defenses can bend in this game, but they need to come up with one play.
2nd and 10 from the 18. Blaha looking to throw, looking in the end zone, and that pass is overthrown a little bit for Wesolowski, incomplete. The guys, the River Falls folks talked about their receivers have the option, right, to then break deep or cut inside. This is one where they both agreed. Both Blaha and Wesolowski agreed that was the play, but just could not quite get it to him.
Yeah, Jamar Daniel in coverage there and had it blanketed.
Wesolowski out, Reifensberger in the game. 3rd down and 10 at the 18. Little loft pass over the middle to Johnstone, and he's down to the 15. So brought down right there by J.P. Sullivan, and this will be a decision time here.
Well, J.P. Sullivan's not moving his right leg. Oh, there it goes. He's moving. Maybe just a cramp. Anyway, he made an amazing play on that tackle. They're stretching him out on the field. He's laying down. 4th down's coming up here. He made an amazing play on that one. Johnstone had gotten that pass in the middle of the field with potentially room to run, and as the defensive tackle, Sullivan sniffed this out and worked backwards behind to make the tackle and whipped Johnstone to the ground. How are you whipping a 250-pound man to the ground? That's how strong J.P. Sullivan is.
You're J.P. Sullivan, right? They talked about the development of J.P. Sullivan this year is not so much physical. It's not so much in the weight room. He has been a leader in the weight room for them for so long, but being the physical, visible leader, the vocal leader on the sidelines, that was the new sort of thing he had to take on as a senior, as a captain on this team. And everything that we have heard has said that he has taken to that quite well.
All right, and Sullivan is speed walking off the field. He's got a little bit of tape flipping around off his shoe, but otherwise looks fine.
Now here's decision
big 4th
time.
down coming up, and they're not going to have their best defensive player on the field.
Does that change what you do I think River Falls is not sending kicking people out there.
Yeah, and Dierking is out there talking to his defensive charges. They had dime in the last game, 3 down linemen and 6 defensive backs.
Well, now River Falls is going to take a timeout. It looks like, we're still in TV. That's what.
Well, welcome to D3, everybody, or welcome to the big time D3. We forget the pace of a game in D3 is not interrupted with this. With these TV timeouts. And look, JP Sullivan is trying to get back on the field. He's standing right by the guy with the orange TV timeout glove.
Yeah, I mean, he can't come in now unless they take a timeout, right?
Yeah, he does have to miss one play if him being down for injury reasons is what stopped the play. So he's going to miss this huge 4th down for North Central. Let's talk about the decision making.
Yeah, 4th down and 6. This is I don't know that I trust the field surface right now, right? This would be a 31-yard field goal attempt, which is normally just fine within Justin Sherbo's range. 3 versus 6 doesn't get you a lot in terms of the lead, right? But 3 versus 9 does. And frankly, if you're looking at North Central, they put a 9.5-minute drive up on you in the first half. You might not get the ball back.
Most teams kick the field goal here. River Falls Falcons are not most teams.
And the offense is back out on the field. No surprise. Empty backfield.
North Central's got 2 down linemen. They're going to have 9 in coverage.
5 receiver set. Blaha on 4th down and 5. Trying to get through the middle, and he does not make the first man miss. Turnover on downs. They bottle up the middle.
Yeah, North Central actually did rush 4 there. They showed it with 2 down linemen, and maybe looked like Rennick was going to rush as well. And it was Danny Nuccio, the linebacker, who also blitzed. And when nothing opened up in coverage for Blaha, he tucked it and looked for a lane, and there was just no lane for him to slide through. Oh, it was Nuccio, and it was Graham Wright, the guy who was in for JP Sullivan, who made the tackle.
Graham White in there to help with the stop. There is a timeout without TV. We'll keep it here.
Well, in a game that we thought would be all about the offenses, man, are these defenses coming up with some huge stops. 4th down stop by North Central. 2 4th down stops in the second half by North Central.
Yeah, 0 for 2 on 4th down.
The pick for River Falls in the end zone, right? We thought this game would be dictated by the offense, and to some degree, both offenses are controlling the pace of play, but the defenses have withstood the challenge.
Now, meanwhile, you remember, of course, that North Central jumped out to that 14-3 lead, but since then, their 4 drives have been punt, interception, punt, punt. Now they've taken 220, 445, 526, and 325 to do so. These are not 3 and outs, but they've not had any scoreboard success as River Falls has scored the last 14 points to take the lead.
Look, and River Falls is clear about who they are in the sense that they're going to go for it in 4th down situations like that, pretty much anything over midfield. They don't have a field goal kicker with a lot of distance, great accuracy, not a lot of distance. You could attempt a field goal there. A lot of teams, most teams probably kick to go up 2014 there, even though, Pat, as you mentioned, going up 6, burst 3, but again, that gives you the opportunity to give up a touchdown, come back and take the lead or win it with a field goal. So River Falls has twice passed up the opportunity to kick short field goals.
Yep.
Which, if you're on 50%, that's, and you usually get that every other time, that's fine. But now that they're 0 for 2, you're thinking, oh, we've left 6 points out there.
Right. And of course, in the first quarter, they did take the short field goal.
Yeah.
So 3 of those situations, one time they've kicked.
And to be fair, in the first quarter, we were kind of like, oh my gosh, these guys said they were going to be, we're going to go all out, and then they take a field goal. That field goal right now is the margin in the game with 11:05 left. River Falls up 17-14.
So North Central starting off at its own 16-yard line. They're going right to left across your screen here in quarter number 4 of Stagg Bowl 52. Wilson looking to throw medium deep downfield and just a little bit behind Jack Rummel. Rummel had gotten a step on Gage Tim who was kind of covering in that part of the field, but Wilson couldn't quite get it to him.
Really well drawn up play because Skokna ran 2 guys off deep.
Yes.
And then Rummel was streaking across the intermediate, probably 15 yards across the middle down the field. And they had done a little half rollout for Wilson so he could buy time for that route to develop. Potentially a huge play. Instead, 2nd and 10.
Wilson, 15 of 19 today, but that's 19 attempts for 147 yards, a little over 7 yards an attempt. Here's a give in the backfield, and that is to McNeil. McNeil gets up close to first down yardage here at what was 2nd and 10 is now 3rd and 3.
Yeah, it must be nice to know you could throw an incomplete pass on first down, hand it off to your back on a pretty standard straight-ahead run and get 7 to set up 3rd and short. 3rd and long, you can dial up so many more exotic pressures. 3rd and short, you really have to worry about short routes and coverage.
5 of 8 on 3rd down today, and here's the give, and that's going to be 6 of 9. And boy, just barely getting the ankle tackle, Riley Ashburn on Donovan McNeil as McNeil picks up big yardage all the way up to the 36-yard line to pick up the 13.
And I'm sort of like kicking myself for saying that you worry about short routes because North Central's, 90, I don't know what the tendency is, but a lot of the time they're going to run the ball in that 3rd and short situation. Lean on that big offensive line, lean on that tackle breaking.
They might run the ball
back
on 3rd and long.
Yeah.
It's 1st and 10 here at the 37-yard line for North Central, and here is a stoppage of play. This will be a false start against North Central. That's the tight end, Isaac Banker.
So now let's see how committed they are to the run.
1st and 15.
If you're getting 6-7 yards, you can deal with 1st and 15. Probably going to dial up. Look for Skokna, look for Rummel here. Maybe some Grant McAtee.
Just the 4th penalty of the game on North Central for 27 yards. 3 penalties for River Falls, but they're biggies. 35 yards on those 3 penalties. Here is again the give in the backfield. It's Jordan Williams. He stumbles his way through the 35, back up to the original line of scrimmage at the 37. Now will bring up 2nd and 10.
And Cortez Jones is feisty. He's the right tackle for North Central, and he is blocking to the whistle and not a split second sooner as he slowing down.
I mean, these guys are aggressive, right?
Yeah. Well, I've seen the River Falls guys take exception to it a couple times, but also keep their cool.
2nd and 10, back up at the 37-yard line. Wilson looking, and a pass is deflected and intercepted! Intercepted by Jack Olson. The big man brings it back to the 15 and down to the 11-yard line. First interception of the year for the senior defensive end from Prescott, Wisconsin. That is basically a hometown boy for River Falls, making a huge play.
I did a literal jaw drop because it didn't hit the ground, but I was sitting here like, what? Because that was a beautifully drawn-up screenplay by North Central, and Garrett Wilson just did not get enough air under it, kind of threw it with some zip. And look, Jack Olson, not a small guy, 6'3", 257, and turns out he has a little bit of hops. Tipped it to himself, and now sets up the River Falls offense with a chance to go up.
Hops and hands. 5 receivers. Blaha behind tight end Johnstone to the 5. Spins. Touchdown. Touchdown, River Falls. One play after the quick change, and they're in the end zone, Keith.
Well, it's the turnovers that's doing North Central in, and it's the last of the 4 units that we thought would be the huge difference maker today, although we did have a feature on the site about the River Falls defense. It's the River Falls defense that's causing these turnovers. What a play by Jack Olson, sets up the touchdown run, right? Tips a screen pass to himself, sets up the Caleb Blaha touchdown run.
I mean, you know how it is by this time of year. We've had a feature on everybody, right?
Well, this is true. We have 6 rounds of playoffs now.
Yeah, exactly. Sherburne's extra point attempt has the height, it has the distance, and it is good. 24-14 with 8:44 to play. Scrap the 18-minute offense now if you're North Central.
Well, here's good news if you're North Central, and not so good news if you're River Falls. I mean, obviously you'd love to be River Falls with a 10-minute lead right now, 8:44 left.
North Central can throw the ball too. They prefer to run it,
Yeah.
but Skogna can make big plays. Rummel can make big plays. McAtee's a big target, has had a nice day. I don't think North Central's done.
No.
But they got to get something cooking soon. And it's just been so amazing how they have moved the ball more or less at will today, but the timely turnovers caused by the River Falls defense is what's got them 8 minutes and 44 seconds away from a national championship, the first in program history. What an amazing story this would be if they're able to pull this off. For those of you who haven't heard it by this point, shame on you for just tuning in, but thank you for being here. 2020, Matt Walker, Joe Matheson sit down. They've been dabbling in this Top Gun offense, this wanting to play with pace. They've dabbled it in 2019 when the team went 2-8, and they said, you know what, let's commit to it. We got this time off. We're going to make good use of this time. Came back 2021, and they were full bore with it. They've obviously refined it over the years, and they have found a quarterback that makes everything go. A beautiful touchdown run right there, right? He got hit probably at the 4-yard line and spun his way into the end zone.
That was a time where indeed he made the first man miss.
Yes. Yeah. And again, North Central's not cooked here. These guys can score in a hurry. They can score in a hurry on the ground. 8:44 is plenty of time to continue to run the ball, but they have to take care of the ball. And, you know, the difference between having, apparently, so far what we've seen today, the difference between having Brock Rudder, Luke Lanin at the controls for the past couple years, and now having Garrett Wilson, who, despite being a transfer from Division I, is a relatively young player.
We have down on the North Central sideline, sorry to cut you off, Keith. Seth Howard, what's the mood down there?
Yeah, Pat, you know, this North Central team hasn't seen a ton of situations like this. Obviously, this year seems a bit grim, but this offense, they are looking, they seem locked in, but man, that defense, they're hanging their heads just a bit. You know, we saw J.P. Sullivan go down. Man, that entire drive for River Falls offensively, he was huffing and puffing, and then he went down with that seemingly injury. I think he's good to go for the rest of this game, but we'll have to watch on that next defensive drive. But this offense seems to be ready to go.
All right, Seth, appreciate it. Thanks for checking in. Down on the sidelines, and the kickoff is taken and brought down nearly immediately is Will Diamond, the tight end, as he takes the short kickoff and brings it up to the 29-yard line.
Well, look, Brad Spencer has won a ton of Coach of the Year awards, some from us, not necessarily for this season.
Not yet, anyway.
Because we haven't picked ours yet.
Yes.
But, yeah, look, now's the time, right? Whatever you got. And obviously you can't start coaching with 8:40 left in the fourth quarter, right? All the coaching that he's put into Garrett Wilson since he's arrived on campus, right? The sophomore quarterback, you need him to put together a huge drive now.
Jalen Johnson, one of the 4 receivers on the field, but here is a give to Donovan McNeil on first down, and he's pushed up across the 30, up to the 34-yard line, pickup of 5. Here's our situation. 8:29 and counting remaining in the fourth quarter. UW River Falls has scored the last 21 points, and they lead number 1 North Central 24-14. We haven't even talked about rankings. Number 3 River Falls, number 1 North Central, or 6 and 4 in the NPI seedings. Here's a give on second down and a gain of a couple, bringing up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, a big defensive stack up right there in the middle from the River Falls defense. Big deal because they'd gotten 5 yards on first down, just get 2 there. So now you're going to set up 3rd and 3. North Central happy to run the ball here, but you may see a pass.
Wilson does drop back to pass. Looking, and pass is complete to Rummel. Rummel shakes off a tackler and gets up to midfield, gets an extra 5 yards or so.
Again, these guys can throw the ball. They just run a simple cross off the line. So you have the slot receiver running out, and then you have Rummel coming in with a short, quick slant, completion, and broke a tackle.
Yeah, Riley Ashburn cannot quite bring him down, but slowed him down enough that it didn't turn those 5-yard catches into 25, which is what River Falls wants to avoid. Looking to throw here once again, and that ball is batted down again at the line of scrimmage.
I think Garrett Wilson wanted to throw the wheel to Jordan Williams coming out of the backfield. He's matched up on Gage Tim not a slow linebacker by any means. In fact, I think his position title is quick linebacker.
Right.
But if you can get your running back matched up on a linebacker on the wheel, you're going to do that at any time. And it looked like that's where Garrett Wilson wanted to go before he had that pass batted down.
Of course, quick is a definition of what side of the field you're on, but yes, probably also pretty fast. Here's a give to Jordan Williams on 2nd and 10. Going to get into River Falls territory down to the 47.
All right, so these are the big third downs where you get to dial up the pressures that you haven't shown all year, the ones that you save or you use them every now and again. But this is a great time to give that offensive line a look that it hasn't seen before. So we may look, if I'm River Falls, I'm not giving Garrett Wilson time to throw.
I think if I'm Jake Wissing, I've probably got stuff deep in my book that we haven't even run in a couple of years. You haven't shown it on tape.
Yeah, we're looking at 3rd and 7, though, so
Wilson, and he's getting chased out, and he's getting brought down, getting sacked by Taylor Sussner. Sussner brings him down for a huge loss. And if you hear banging on the window, the River Falls coach's box is to our left. And they are up about that because it went from 3rd and 7 to 4th and 22.
And North Central can't punt here with 6:15 left, down 24-14.
Well, I mean, I suppose you're right. Yeah, they're down by 2 possessions.
They're going to keep their offense on the field. Hey, that's why you listen to us, everybody. You know you're going to get an exotic pressure there. Taylor Sussner runs free. Taylor Sussner is the safety, but he's kind of the rover type guy in River Falls. And now we get a North Central timeout. Actually smart with 6 minutes left. And you got to dial up a first down here.
For Sussner, that's just his 2nd sack of the season. Speaks to perhaps exoticness of pressure, right? Sussner is a guy, he's a gray shirt, a freshman. He was in school, went through preseason practice last year, watched things happen in a situation where last year's defensive backfield was stacked. Bunch of guys, Michael Brown, Aaron Borgerding, guys who were on our All-Region team, maybe our All-American team even. Sussner gets a chance to play this year as a freshman. He's the team leader in interceptions. He's got 5 pass breakups. Not really a freshman in that sense. And comes up with a big sack right there, running free.
Yeah, River Falls is a 4-2-5 defensive team, as is North Central, and honestly, as have been lots of the Division III national champions, including Mount Union and Mary Hardin Baylor as well. So Sussner is the rover type guy who gets to move around, do a lot of different things. Now, what do you dial up in this situation, 4th and 22 if you're North Central? I love a hook and ladder here.
Yeah. 4 receiver set along with Williams in the backfield, showing some pressure. Batted down again, and that will end that. It's Trent Cherry coming up, showing the blitz, right? And then coming up and getting his hands up.
And again, dialing up those pressures when you need them. Now, obviously, it's a little easier to do that when you're up 24-14, but when you need to choke the life out of somebody, a corner blitz, right?
Right.
Throwing something at Garrett Wilson that he hasn't seen a whole bunch. Not saying he's never seen a corner blitz, but you're expecting pressure up the middle. You're expecting some kind of exchange on the line, and it's the corner who comes in and bats down the 4th and 22 pass. The reason you pressure there is because it takes a while to run 22 yards.
Yeah.
And so
right.
if you get that ball out of the quarterback's hands fast,
then it's not going to go 22 yards.
There you go. Now,
math.
Can River Falls slow it down? 5:55.
I don't think they try. There's
Right.
a swing pass out of the backfield to Rohrer coming up across the 35 to the 32-yard line. Gain of about 6. Maybe you snap the ball a little later, but you don't change your base, everything that you do. That's how coaches get themselves in trouble.
Well, North Central, 6 straight Stagg Bowls. They've won 3. They are on the verge right now of losing their 3rd. And the one they lost 2 years ago to Cortland, in my mind, set off a new era of Division III football where it wasn't just one of these 4 teams that could win a national championship or one of the top conferences.
2nd and 4, the give to Asher up the middle for a couple of yards.
Although, River Falls.
Taking the air out of this right now, aren't they? Coming up on 5 minutes.
Yeah. Running the ball to Asher. River Falls comes from the top conference, probably 20 years running in our conference rankings.
Longer. Pass to Rush out on the sidelines. First down across the 25.
And
Blake Rohrer is just standing all alone on the far sidelines with his hands on his helmet as if he can't believe what is going on. It's a little too early. It is not fait accompli yet, but the accomplishment is coming.
Yeah, well, they're on the 22-yard line going in, so if they put up another score here, it's going to set off a heck of a celebration. Obviously, North Central in big trouble.
3 receivers along with the tight end Adam Johnstone. Roar.
If River Falls is able to pull this off, this is be the 4th WIAC program to win a national championship? 3rd?
I mean, in Division III, or do we count the NAIAs as well?
Shoot.
Blah is going to keep it himself. He's going to bounce it out to the outside across the 20 and down to the 17, the 18-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Lacrosse won a couple championships in the 90s, I believe 92, 95. Whitewater had that run of 6 in 9 years in the early 2000s. In the mid-2000s, Oshkosh made it to a Stagg Bowl.
Yep, that's it. This is
did not win.
Lacrosse and Whitewater are the only ones who have won Division III championships.
So while Oshkosh has been in a Stagg Bowl, has also been a semifinalist a couple times. For River Falls to come from the bottom of that conference, rebuild their program over the course of a couple years, and be on the verge of a national championship is just amazing.
Blaha now looking to throw and just out of the reach of Blake Rohr, incomplete 3rd and 6. Keith, I heard people say during this past offseason that the WIAC was overrated. I heard people loudly say the WIAC was overrated. I don't know why you would listen to them. We listen to us. Yeah. They are not overrated.
I'm just pointing at the field because there's nothing overrated about this River Falls team. Look, the gauntlet they went through to get here is like nothing that's happened in Division III history before. They played 9 playoff teams, including this one here today.
Here's the snap. Blaha looking to roll towards the near side, looking in the end zone for Rohr, and it's just too far out the back. Yep.
Oh, up a snowbank.
He doesn't care.
Hey, that's
right?
a fun picture. Hopefully somebody got that.
Blake Rohr out of Woodbury, Minnesota. If there's not like 2 feet of snow right now in Woodbury, I don't know what's going on.
But I mean, to run up a snowbank, you probably weren't expecting to be 4 yards out of the back of the end zone.
And it doesn't look like we're kicking here either, because here I would think about it.
This is who they are.
This is
4th and 6, 3:16 left, up 24-14.
From the 18-yard line. Blaha, throw back to Johnstone, the tight end, and he overthrows him incomplete, and another 4th down attempt goes by the wayside for River Falls, but they are up by 10 with 3:11 to go.
Yeah, and obviously shows amazing confidence in the defense, but this is also who Matt Walker is. He said, we are going to be who we are, right?
Yeah.
And if we win a national championship that way, great. You know, he said a couple times, I reserve the right to not be an idiot. I think that's not an idiot situation right there. It's debatable, but if you get those 6 yards, this thing's over and the celebration is on. Now, North Central's got 3:11 to score twice.
2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout remaining. Got to get something done quickly here.
Garrett Wilson had a screen pass picked off 2 drives ago that really changed this game.
1st and 10 from the 18. Got some time to throw. Looking for Skokna, and he gets him up to the 40-yard line. Still on his feet, actually, the 45. And then it is finally brought down by Gage Tim.
Yeah, Skokna streaking across the middle of the field, late developing route. He actually got all the way from the near slot to the far numbers to make that catch, and then ran for about 7 extra yards breaking tackles.
Wilson on 1st and 10 from just short of midfield, and then lost it out of bounds to stop the clock.
And North Central here is definitely wary. They're thinking about clock here, but they're going to need a touchdown and a field goal. So you get whichever one you can get as fast as you can get it, and then you got to get the ball back. And if North Central scores here, then maybe you think about second-guessing some of the River Falls decision-making.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
But with a 10-point lead, you put it in your defense's hands if you believe in your coordinator.
Throw to Walton over the middle, and Walton is going to get out of bounds, but only after a gain of about 4. 2:38 and holding remaining. And now, of course, the clock restarts.
And I'm sure Matt Walker's just thinking to himself, if we can't hold a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left, we don't deserve to be national champions. The defense they've so far, the first 57 minutes have put up a national championship-worthy effort.
3rd and 6. Wilson looking for stuff to develop downfield, and they're just overthrows out of the reach of Rummel, incomplete. So it'll be 4th down.
It's a dangerous game. River Falls rushing only 4. They got 7 in coverage, but giving Garrett Wilson just all day to throw. That time you couldn't find anything, and North Central down to its last poker chip, dollar chance, just down to its last chance. All right, fine.
All in right now, anyway, on this play. Isaac Baker, the tight end, comes off, and now we'll have a timeout for North Central. It is most outstanding player ballot time, Keith.
Unfortunately, I'm terrible at these because I don't like to just give it to the quarterback. I think it's got to be a defensive player. Who do I pick? Jack Olson for me. I don't know. Gage Tim's had a great game. Susner. Oh.
Susner's done all right. Tim, 13 tackles, 8 solo. Ashburn, Riley Ashburn, the free safety, has 13 tackles. Of course, Susner has the sack. He has 1.5 tackles for loss. He has the interception.
Look, my guy's not going to get it. I'll go Gage Tim. We're live voting here. I think you have to give it to the River Falls defense just because the narrative coming into this game was that the North Central's going to score. The offense has to carry it, and frankly, North Central moved the ball.
I'm pretty sure Seth Howard can file his ballot that I gave him before the game without any changes. 4th down and 6. Rolling to the left, looking to the left, and nobody there. Nobody there. Skokna had the ball thrown about 10 yards over his head, and Garrett Wilson gets consoled by Johnny Golden on the way off the field, but that was a miscommunication or a misunderstanding of some sort.
Reality's beginning to set in, and Garrett Wilson with his hands on his helmet and Skokna talking to him. Now on the other side, and if we don't go down to Seth here, I don't know anything about production or timing, but the celebration's about to be on the River Falls sideline, and they have the crowd here to enjoy it. What a story!
It's crazy. I mean, you and I and Greg, as Blaha goes on 1st down to get back into North Central territory, you and I and Greg all picked River Falls to go to the semifinals, did we not?
Yeah, I mean, we thought they were going to be good this year. We thought any team that had a chance to win the WIAC has a chance to break through.
We're at the 2-minute timeout.
But I didn't pick River Falls today. I just was like, where's the weakness in North Central? And frankly, they didn't show much weakness except turning the ball over in key situations. Great plays by the defense. Taylor Susner with the pick in the end zone. Jack Olson tipping the ball to himself. And then Gage Tim causing the fumble. Those 3 turnovers.
Man, Jack Olson, 6'3", 257-pound senior out of Prescott, Wisconsin. The big man, the big D end, tipping the ball up. That's one thing. You're a big guy. He's broken up passes, right? He broken up one pass coming in, but you get my picture, right? But then getting your hands on it and catching it and taking it and going.
I mean, that's the stuff that lives in lore, and that's going to be, when we talk about this game 5-10 years from now, the storyline is obviously a big part of it. But the Top Gun offense didn't go crazy. Got enough to get it done, but it was the defense that set it up with the turnovers.
We're at the 2-minute timeout. We're sending it downstairs for Seth Howard.
Yeah, Pat, the words are hard to come by right now. The vibes on this River Falls sideline, man, I've never seen anything like it down here. This fan base has showed up. They are getting loud right now. They can taste this championship on the tip of their tongue right now. They still got 2 minutes to get this thing done and stay in the dirt, like Coach Walker would say, but the vibes over here, Pat, are pretty immaculate.
Does it taste like Falcon Red? Does it taste like Spotted Cow? Does it taste like Leinenkugel? What is it on the tip of your tongue?
It tastes like a Johnny's beer. It tastes like a McPick. I don't know what it tastes like, but it tastes like a national championship right now, Pat.
All right, thanks a lot, Seth. I don't know either of those beers, but I'm not too far from Wisconsin. I'll have to go find some of those for myself.
Well, again, we cannot overstate what a story this is. North Central had its own struggles to get to the top.
Yeah.
Knocked out of the playoffs many years when they were a really good team. Finally get to the apex in 2019. They've been in the past 6 Stagg Bowls, but they're not automatic when they get here. River Falls knew that. River Falls said, we're going to be who we are. We got here with this crazy Top Gun offense. We got here playing aggressive on defense.
what they're vulnerable to, if anything, is the team having a crazy out-of-its-mind season. Cortland a couple years ago, River Falls this year. Kyle King of Mary Hardin Baylor turning into the air raid passing quarterback the final 3 games of the season.
Right, Mary Hardin Baylor for 20 years just ran the ball all the time, and then they found a passing quarterback that went ham in the second half in the Stagg Bowl, right here on this field.
Blaha behind a lead block, and he is going to go 30, 25, 20. Roby tracks him down, coming all the way from across the field at the 18-yard line, but a big run for Blaha, and it gets them inside the red zone once again.
Again, though, I think this solidifies for a program that was 2-8 6 years ago, that anybody, I'm not saying anybody can do it, right? Like, not every Division III program is capable of getting here, but a lot of the programs that are on the cusp, that are playoff teams, that are feeling good about themselves, that are just a couple guys away or just a new scheme away, like, this can cause you to believe. I think you put this with the Cortland thing as well.
Ball on the 18, 1st and 10. Blaha already with 126 yards on the ground today. Already the all-time single-season leader in total offense. Takes it forward for another couple yards.
And I don't think there was a flaw with this North Central team or this game plan or Brad Spencer did something wrong or whatever. They just turned the ball over.
And River Falls had the better quarterback.
Well, I mean, Jack Olson, again, the defensive end tipping it to himself on a screen pass.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But just like, who deserves it more than these River Falls guys? I know some people are running out of the stadium, and I think they're trying to storm the field, but
they're not.
This field is awkward. All right, look, they're running.
Kneel down here, right here.
They're running out of the side. They're running out of the middle of the stadium and around the back so they can storm the field. Only like 30 people or whatever. It'll be fine. But we cannot overstate like how of the grain Matt Walker is as a D3 guy, right? Played for DePaul, coached DePaul, been at River Falls for 18 years, says he should have been fired. They should have fired me 3 times, he says. Well, they stuck with him, and man, has it paid off.
The final 8 seconds are going to tick down. And UW River Falls, the smallest team in the WIAC, the smallest school in the WIAC, comes from cellar dweller in the aughts and the teens. And they are the 2025 Division III football national champions. Final score, River Falls 24, North Central 14. Stick with us. We'll have the post-game awarding of the trophy. You will hear here first who will be the most outstanding player of Stagg Bowl 52. It may be just as undramatic as the Gallardi Trophy announcement was, as Blaha hoists walnut and bronze for UW River Falls. It's crazy.
I can't get over what a great story this is. Again, with the River Falls, they're saying we're going to change our identity. It's going to be crazy, but the recruits are going to love it. The kids are going to buy in. Their attitude here all week was like, look, we are who we are. We're going to play the way we play. We're not going to get beat by the logo, as they say, right? We're not going to play scared. And again, I think, there's a lot of great scheme adjustments that happen throughout the course of a game, but this one to me just boiled down to the turnovers coming at the right time. That Jack Olson play, history in River Falls forever. Gage Tim causing the fumble, Taylor Susner preventing points before the half.
Yeah.
North Central could go into that thing up 21-10.
Yeah.
And instead, River Falls keeps the margin tight. 14-10, able to come up with a couple of touchdowns in the second half to put the thing away. Again, man, this story is like very, very Cinderella storybook. And I felt that way about Cortland and the way the Cortland game finished with the 2-point conversion. That was very storybook. This might be even better.
This is like St. John's beating Mount Union in 2003, isn't it?
No, because even then, St. John's was an established powerhouse program that had won NAIA championships that. And
they had won a D3 one.
Yeah, I mean, River Falls is they weren't always the dregs of the WIAC, right? They made the playoffs back in the 90s and had good years in the 80s, but they were the dregs of the WIAC for a good 20 years. And again, Matt Walker saying, I should have been fired 3 times. What happens when you stick with your coach? You find this coordinator. Well, one coordinator is Matt Walker's guy. They've been together for a long time, right?
And he switched him from offense to defense.
Right. Jake Wissing spent 9 years as the offensive line coach and the O coordinator. He's been 5 years now as a defensive coordinator. He just also authored a masterpiece on defense today. I mean, what a storybook. And these guys are all so likable. North Central's likable too, but this is great for D3.
Let's revisit that drive chart we were talking about before, right? North Central touchdown, fumble, touchdown to start the game. Then, since then, and this starts early in the second quarter, punt, interception, punt, interception, 4th down, turnover on downs, and another turnover on downs. And that's the ball game. And, River Falls, but 11 possessions, including the one that ends the game. They scored on 4 of them, but the North Central struggles today to finish drives. River Falls got 9 defensive stops. They got 9 defensive stops.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Those are good numbers, Keith says.
That's the analysis you paid me for. I don't know, man. Again, who would have thought of the units that would be most impressive of any of the 4 major units on the field, not including special teams, that it would be the River Falls defense that makes all the key plays. It's what makes football a beautiful game. It's a team game. Every guy is important in one way or another. And the fact that the big plays were made at every level of the defense, right? A defensive end, Jack Olson, tips a screen pass to himself. Gage Tim, linebacker, causes a fumble inside the 10 or inside the 15 for North Central. Taylor Susner, defensive back rover, drops back into the end zone, pick before the half. Those are the 3 big plays of the game in my mind. Blake Rohrer catch was pretty amazing too in this corner down here. But I think the defensive plays, man.
I say that's the photo that's on the front page right now. At some point we will have, I'm sure, a trophy shot of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Jack Olson tipping a screen pass to himself. But again, I don't think there was like a flaw with North Central's game plan or they got away from, just ran into a team that believed in itself and made the key plays. And I do think a huge part of it is not being overwhelmed by the moment, not changing who you are when you get here, not making the opponent bigger than they need to be. That's not only why they won, right? They rallied to the ball and they tackled well. The offense scored, when it needed to. Failed 3 times on 4th down in the second half, and still scored enough points to win the championship because that defense had an outstanding day. A very predictable storyline for me.
Exactly, right? That's exactly how everybody predicted it today in our quick hits predictions. So UW River Falls turns a 14-3 deficit into a 24-14 win in Stagg Bowl 52. Postgame coverage continues here on D3Football.com. We're waiting to find out. Here we go.
It is our pleasure to begin the award ceremony for the 2025 NCAA Division III Football Championship.
We'll try to keep you with the voice of the stadium as long as it's understandable.
We'd like to congratulate both teams on their outstanding achievement.
North Central.
Our host, the Ohio Athletic Conference, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, and Visit Canton for their partnership, commitment, and success in hosting this national championship. Presenting the awards today is John Snell, Associate Athletic Director of Global Wallace University and Chair of the Division III Football Committee.
So John Snell to present the trophy. Meanwhile, all of the North Central players still standing out here watching with their respect.
Most outstanding player, as voted by the members of the media.
Most outstanding player.
From the Falcons, quarterback number 14, Caleb Long.
In case you couldn't hear, Caleb Blaha announced as the most outstanding player of Stagg Bowl 52. One more award in his number of awards this season. Gallardi Trophy, first team All-American, most outstanding player, D3Football.com Offensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely the Gallardi Trophy winner. I voted for him for a Gallardi Trophy. Absolutely the Offensive Player of the Year. This was a team win today. I know they got to pick a guy to give the trophy to, but,
Caleb will say that too. Let's go down to the field where he's getting interviewed. It's like Caleb's having a hard time keeping it together, but he did credit it as a team win. Congratulations indeed once again to Caleb Blaha and to the University of Wisconsin River Falls. Blaha, the most outstanding player. And the team, the champions, 24-14.
NCAA Division III Football National Champions. We present the trophy to the University of Wisconsin River Falls.
I like it. I like a little personality out of the public address announcer.
I mean, if you would have asked us 2 years ago after Cortland wins, who wins the Stagg Bowl in 2 years? Somebody's going to beat North Central in Canton, 24-14. Who is it? How many teams do you name before you get to River Falls?
I'd probably start with Mount Union on that list.
Yeah, 50?
No, I don't know. I mean, they already had Blaha. We knew they were pretty good when he was healthy.
Yeah. Okay, 20.
Did we know he was going to play in 2025 is a great question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. They were good. They were, 7-3. They were a team that was knocking on the door of getting into the postseason. Won 5 games this year. It went against a gauntlet of teams starting from the very beginning of the regular season to the end of this game. It's the most deserved championship I can remember, and it's such a refreshing story. I love the North Central guys. It's not a knock on them at all, but man, what a cool story.
At the 2025 NCAA Division III Football Championship.
Well, we're going to wrap up our post-game coverage here. Give you a quick look at final stats before we go away. North Central, Wilson, I think at one point was he 14 of 15 passing and ended up 18 of 28. Let me, if I could grab paper from you, because paper is a great paper trail. He was 15 of 18 and then just 3 of his last 10. 18 of 28 for 194 yards. Donovan McNeil, 23 carries for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Williams, 10 carries for 44. Skokna, 5 catches for 77. Rummel, 5 for 75. River Falls, Caleb Blaha, 27 of 41 passing, 291 yards and a touchdown. He ran for 128 yards and 2 scores on 19 carries. Austin Rush, this is the thing, Keith. I mean, Austin Rush and Adam Johnstone were the leading pass catchers with 6 catches each, 6 for 64 for Rush, 6 for 40 for Johnstone. Hilton, 4 for 85. Rohr, 4 for 50 with the touchdown. The Blaha numbers are normal and they make sense, but this is the depth of that wide receiver core, and we never really talked about how apparently it also included tight end Adam Johnstone.
But Joe Madison did talk about the idea of taking what he's given, death by 1,000 cuts, winning with dink and dunk, right? And people feel like, oh my gosh, North Central scored first. We have to match North Central. We have to come back with a touchdown right away. Let's go deep. Let's pull everything out of the playbook. They said, look, if they're going to play 7 in coverage and rush 4, we'll just run RPOs and throw short passes, swing passes out of the backfield, bubble screens, quick stuff to the tight end. They're fine with all that, and it worked out. It had to be paired with a beautiful defensive game, because if you give up 35 to North Central today, right, 24 is not going to get it done.
Yeah.
But the defense came up huge 3 times with these huge turnovers, twice in the red zone, preventing points, and once a screen pass by a defensive end tipped to himself that set up the final touchdown of the game, a spinning Caleb Blaha touchdown run. Really one of the most team effort wins I can remember.
Thank you to at one point, as many as 426 people who tuned in to this broadcast at one time, 4,185. And we've hung with it long enough that the River Falls players are going over to that gate. The marching band walked in. They came in. They played the school song in front of the River Falls faithful. The rest of the group stayed patiently outside, and the players have come over to them as the celebration continues on the River Falls sidelines, and I'm sure they're celebrating back home in Tarnation Tavern. And
it's got to be the best publicity they ever could have imagined.
Right?
Hey, come bartend with us.
You could win a national championship. Swinging Bridge Brewing Company.
But this is like such a quintessential D3 story, right? There's these small towns. Sometimes they're small colleges in big cities, right? You know, like Johns Hopkins is just as much D3 as River Falls. But it's these places, these small communities that rally around these teams, and, you know, sometimes suffer through some rough years. And then you get good. You catch lightning in a bottle. You have a quarterback that propels you to another level. You have this roster of 6'3", 6'5", 200-pound wide receivers. You have an innovative offensive coach. You have a defensive coach that's seen it all. So much so that he used to be the offensive coordinator, and he dialed up some great pressures when it was all on the line today. And you know, this is a tremendous North Central team. I thought it might have been one of their best. May have been their best team if they'd finished it out today. They don't get it done, and you know. Not a whole lot of people are going to feel sorry for a program that's been to 6 Stagg Bowls, won 3, and is still the class of Division III. But tonight, River Falls Falcons night. And if you are a fan of a program that's going through it, fan of a program that thought you should have fired your coach 5 years ago, but now he's got things going in the right direction, fan of a program that you think there's something bubbling here, if you could just get it all working in the right direction, River Falls is proof, just the way Cortland was proof a couple years ago, that it can happen that way for you. And I think there were a lot of years in D3 where, like, the best you could possibly hope for was like a semifinal run, because you're going to run into Mount Union, you're going to run into Whitewater, you're going to run into Mary Hardin Baylor, you're going to run into North Central. And now we found teams can get here. First of all, Mount Union's not even here, hadn't played in 4 weeks. Mary Hardin Baylor wasn't even in the dance. Whitewater got eliminated several weeks ago.
Yep.
Other teams, other schools are getting here. Other communities are getting to feel this joy. And you could tell, because it was the first River Falls opportunity, they packed their side of the stands.
Attention guests, can we have all fans and non-fans?
The final attendance number, 2,403. The best non-Salem total in a couple of years. Nice to see that. And once again, the final score here, 24-14, University of Wisconsin River Falls etches their name among the all-time champions in NCAA Division III football. Got a lot of people to thank. Have to thank Corey from ESPN. Have to thank Ace from the stadium here in Canton, Ohio, for their help here getting us some great sound of everything going on the field. A fantastic setup that we got there at kind of the last minute. We're very grateful for that. I have to thank, of course, Greg Thomas who provided stats and, of course, does so many more things here at D3Football.com. How about the D1 Rejects crew? How about Kobe Manzo, Seth Howard, Mikey Schultz, and then all of the producers whose names I do not even know, but helped put together great pregame coverage that we were able to be a part of. So much fun here in Canton, Ohio. And, of course, I have to thank Keith McMillan. Keith, man, it's been great calling Stagg Bowls with you. I know that we talked before the game started, just you and me for a second. We're going to keep it real now, right? Like we felt that we were the most prepared and the most knowledgeable maybe we've ever been because we had coaches who were willing to talk with us about stuff, right? So many things. And all I said after that was, I just hope we have a game that lives up to the amount of information that we have to use. And we got it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about Brad Spencer and Matt Walker and the way they sort of welcome you into their program. And they're not alone. They're not the only D3 coaches who do that, and that's one of the things I love about D3. Having covered sports at all the levels, access is really tough, and when you don't have access, you lose authenticity. And the beautiful thing about both of these teams, but especially River Falls, is they just let you in. They're so authentic, and they decided, hey, win or lose against North Central, right? Matt Walker said this a couple of times. I don't care if we lose 100-0. We're doing it the way we've done it all year. We are who we are, and I think that kind of confidence rubs off on his players. Guys love him. Seth Howard, who hasn't even played for him for a year or two, still loves him. 20 years from now, all these guys are still going to love him. They're going to love Joe Matheson and Jake Wissing and all the assistant coaches. These guys are now. Every team, even the 2-8 teams, are bonded together for life. But these guys, they're going to be bonded together for life. They may never buy another drink in Tarnation Tavern. They may never be able to go to the Quick Mart and not get recognized.
Quick Trip.
Oh,
so close.
See, I'm not really from the Midwest, obviously, right? I'm Northeast through and through.
It's close.
Mid-Atlantic. I did try.
You did. I understood what you were going for.
I'm from Wawa Sheets territory.
That's right. The 26th Stagg Bowl that you and I got to call together was a good one. We have now called half the Stagg Bowls. How about that?
Does that make us great or old?
I thought you were going to say gray.
Well, a little bit.
Gray and great and old. Great old gray broadcasters.
Well, Pat, they never get old. It never gets old doing it with you. And even though time doesn't allow us to in distance too, being in Minnesota and Virginia, it doesn't allow us to hang out as much as we did in the early days. It's always fun when we come out for this weekend. And again, it's never about us, right? We just want to reflect these great stories. Pat went to a D3 college. I went to a D3 college, right? And we were like, man, there's so much here. We just want to tell these stories and share them with the world. And like this story tells itself, all the different facets to the River Falls story. I think they're great, and we'll talk about them on the podcast. So if you are somehow still listening to us right now,
and 108 of you are still, tune in for the D3Football.com Around the Nation podcast. You 108 are going to get an exclusive right now, though. We've already mentioned Caleb Blaha, 2025 D3Football.com Offensive Player of the Year. 2025 D3Football.com Defensive Player of the Year, J.P. Sullivan, defensive tackle for North Central, practically without discussion needed. And 2025 D3Football.com Coach of the Year, who else could it be but Matt Walker of UW River Falls?
Yeah, I was gonna make a impassioned plea for Billy Lang, Eastern. Am I saying his name right?
Is that his last name?
I don't know. In any case, I do think it is Matt Walker. Not obviously what he did with his team, and he certainly
Billy Crocker.
Okay, who's Billy Lang then, man? Old basketball coach, somebody out there knows.
Probably.
Okay, I would have made a plea for Eastern. I thought what they did with that program in year 3, getting it to win a playoff game, is amazing, but not more amazing than what we saw from River Falls. And again, Matt Walker saying, year 18. Had some rough years along the way, and the program stuck with him, the kids stuck with him. And then for them to make this decision in 2019, 2020, say we're going to adopt this identity and adopt it all the way. Like, we're not going to do it. We're not going to dabble in it. This is who we're going to be. And to just be this fun, freewheeling team, the type of team that dials up fake field goals, does backflips in the end zone, calls reverse flea flickers, plays with this frenetic pace. And then to be able to do all that and remind you that football is supposed to be fun. It is fun. It can be fun. It can be done at a high level and still be a ton of fun. There's, future's bright for this program and for Matt Walker and for Joe Matheson and Jake Wissing. I think they might all be head coaches before we know it.
It's been fun doing this game with you. It's been fun doing this 2025 season here on D3Football.com. For Keith McMillan, for Greg Thomas, for everybody at D1 Rejects, for Seth Howard down on the sidelines, thank you for a great night, a fun night. Call in Division III football. This copyrighted broadcast of NCAA Division III football on D3Football.com is the property of D3Football.com and intended solely for the private personal use of our audience. Any other broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of D3Football.com is strictly prohibited. Thanks to everybody at the Ohio Athletic Conference at Visit Canton. Thanks to JJ Nekoloff of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, the media coordinator for this event here today. Thanks to JP Williams and the folks at the NCAA, the NCAA liaison for Division III football, and everybody who worked on the Division III football playoffs, that tireless football playoff committee that takes nothing but guff from people and does it on a volunteer basis. We could quibble about MPI on another conversation altogether. But thanks to them for giving us the access, helping us get coaches on the pregame show live, which we've never had before. Super happy about that. That's it. We're going to sign off. The final score here. UW River Falls, the 2025 Division III football national champion, as they defeat North Central College by the final score of 24-14. Good night, everybody.